Hello and welcome back to another Football Commentaries live stream. It is Thursday night football as the opening month of the season comes towards its end, and it is League 2 action tonight at Meadow Lane as Notts County welcome Grimsby Town. Notts County have started with 2 draws in their opening 2 league games, with a 0-0 draw away at Tranmere on the opening weekend, followed up by a 2-2 draw last Sunday at home to recently relegated Fleetwood, with a 95th minute equaliser from 12 yards scored by Jody Jones. Grimsby are looking for big improvements on this campaign compared to last season, where they were slumped in 21st place, just 7 points clear of the relegation zone. Despite an opening weekend defeat away to Fleetwood, the Mariners have bounced back with a dramatic 3-2 home win to Cheltenham, as it took a 93rd minute winner from Wrexham loanee Jordan Davis to take all 3 points. There was 15 goals in the 2 games between these two sides last season. Here at Meadow Lane, it was a 3-2 win for Notts County, but in the reverse game at Blundell Park, it ended 5-5. 10 goals, with 2 of them in added on time, which saw the game end all square. So between Notts County and Grimsby, will either of these 2 teams take all 3 points tonight? Of course, as mentioned, Grimsby have already won 3 points in that 3-2 win at home on Saturday to Cheltenham, but for Notts County, they are still waiting a first win of the season, not just in the league, but also the League Cup. They fell to a defeat on penalties to Shrewsbury away. The game ended 3-3, an 89th minute equaliser from their striker Alassane Jatta gave them the chance at penalty kicks, but unfortunately they fell short. So Notts County are still searching for their first win of the season, their first 3 points in the league. And for Grimsby, they are on a run of 2 wins in a row. They won at the weekend against Cheltenham 3-2, but the game before that, they also had to go to penalties in the League Cup at home to Bradford, and their penalty shootout ended up being a 9-8 win. So it was a long penalty shootout, but they got through it in the end. So if you're talking about form and momentum, Grimsby are probably going to feel a little bit more confident the fact that they're coming into this with 2 wins, but they are the away side. Notts County will be at home. That's where they are usually strongest. They started really well last season, Notts County at home. They won 8 of their opening 10 games at home, but towards the back end of the season, their form at home really slipped. They lost 5 in a row here at Meadow Lane between February and March, and just overall their end of the season last campaign for Notts County just was not good enough. They were forced to change managers during last season. It was forced upon them as their previous manager Luke Williams left for Swansea City in the January, and they were quick to bring in Stuart Maynard, who is coming from Wealdstone United, and it's just not quite got going for him yet at Notts County. Stuart Maynard has took charge of 22 games now at his new club, and they've only won 5, losing 12, and 2 of those 5 wins have been at home. They've beaten Harrogate and Colchester back in April of last season. So it's not exactly worked yet for Stuart Maynard at Notts County, but he has been trusted, he has been back. They've brought in plenty of new players so far. Over half of the starting 11 tonight are new signings, so it's not like he's not being back. They are trusting in him for now, but results simply need to get better for Stuart Maynard and Notts County, or he won't survive. He will not survive, because that's just how football is these days. If you do not get your results, you get replaced, and someone's brought in, imminently. So tonight's a big game for Notts County. They really need to win this one, and they need to do it convincingly. Last season, if you wanted to see goals, you watched Notts County. In the league, Notts County scored 89 goals, conceding 86. That was the most in League 2. No team conceded more than Notts County, even though they finished 14th. It's not exactly near the relegation zone, but the fact that they were able to score so many, helped settle the ship, and they were able to survive. But, in all competitions, Notts County scored 96 and conceded 99. They almost conceded 100 goals in 52 games in all competitions. So, it's exciting to watch Notts County. And if you're a Notts County fan, it's probably a nervous watch half the time, because you don't exactly know what's going to happen. You don't know if you're going to concede 5 or score 5. But hopefully this season, in their first full season under their, I say new manager, it's been here 8 months now, under the management of Stuart Maynard, hopefully Notts County can bring a little bit more of a stable game and win games more comfortably, not as dramatic. as of course at the start of this season they have started with 2 draws, and funnily enough, the first draw against Tranmere was a 0-0. You know, we're talking about all the goals that happened in Notts County games, but they started the season with a 0-0. And if you are new, if you haven't liked and subscribed already, please make sure you do. Kick-off is just around 5 minutes away, and we're going to go through both starting 11s. We're going to start with the home side, and it's 3 changes from that draw on Sunday against Fleetwood here at Meadow Lane. Alex Bass remains in goal. He was brought in the summer from Sunderland, a back 3. On the right side will be Lewis Macari. He was brought in the January of last season from Stoke after spending the first half of the season on loan. The 2 other centre-halves are 2 new signings, Matty Platt from Bradford and Jacob Badeau on a free from Morecambe. 4 in that midfield. At right wing-back will be Jody Jones, who's making his 100th League 2 appearance tonight. He also won League 2 Player of the Season on Tuesday night, voted by the League 2 players. 2 central midfielders of Scott Robertson and Curtis Edwards. They both come in tonight from the bench, as they did not start the last game. Left wing back is this new signing who was promoted with Crawley at the end of the last season. That is Nick Cerula. And then 3 going forward. On the right side will be Dan Crowley, who is captain tonight for Notts County. On the left will be Connor Grant, who was brought in this summer from MK Dons. And leading the line, he's already got 2 goals so far this season, 1 in the league against Fleetwood and also 1 off the bench in the League Cup. And that is Alassana Jatta, the Gambian 6'4" striker for Notts County. And at the other side for Grimsby Town, they have made no changes from their win at the weekend against Cheltenham, as it is Jordan Wright in goal, brought in this summer from Lincoln. Another new signing is Lewis Cass. He will play at right back. He scored last season away at Grimsby whilst he was on loan at champions Stockport County. 2 centre-backs of Harvey Rogers and another new signing of Cameron McJanet. He was brought in for a substantial fee from Derry City, and a left-back of Evan Corey, who is usually a central midfielder, but is being used and utilised as a left-back. 2 other midfielders of George McEachran, who was brought in this summer from Swindon. Another summer signing on loan from Wrexham, that is Jordan Davis, who scored twice against Cheltenham in that 3-2 win, including a 93rd minute winner from a free kick. 3 behind the striker on the right is a loanee from Brighton, that is Luca Barrington. On the left is Charles Vernon, who has started both games last season against Notts County. And behind the striker will be the captain, Kieran Green. And through the middle, leading the line, is number 25 of Donovan Wilson. He has got 1 goal so far this season, and that came in the League Cup at home to Bradford. So they are the 2 starting 11s here. Hopefully we do get goals. Like I say, last season, the last time these 2 sides met, it ended 5-5. In that game, Notts County thought they'd won it in the 92nd minute through David McGoldrick, who's on the bench tonight. But then Grimsby, 3 minutes later in the 95th minute, went on and got an equaliser. So let's hope for goals. Hopefully we do get some. You know, the fixture in the past has offered goals. And Notts County are looking for their first win of the season. And for Grimsby, they're trying to make it 3 wins in a row in all competitions. But it's going to be a high-intensity game, lots of energy, and 2 teams that will want to prove themselves. Both of these teams were in the National League just a few years ago, so it's definitely up for grabs. You know, the win tonight, I think either of these 2 teams can go on and win. Of course, Notts County still just not quite clicking with Stuart Maynard in charge, and for Grimsby, they're looking like they're starting to really gel under David Artell, who came in November of 2023. For Grimsby, he's taking charge of his 32nd game, and he's looking for his 10th win as Grimsby boss. He was formerly in charge of Crewe, where he got them promoted from this division in the 2019-2020 season. That season, he also won League 2 Manager of the Year. And he looks like here at Meadow Lane, which is just 270 metres away from the City Ground, which is the Nottingham Forest Stadium. We're going to get the game underway here. We're just waiting for the referee's whistle, and tonight's referee is Ollie Yates, who was the referee for Wrexham's first game back in League 1, their 3-2 win over Wickham. And there is Stuart Maynard, the 43-year-old manager for Notts County, also 43 years of age, and that is David Artell, the man in charge of Grimsby Town. As it's going to be Notts County to kick us off, kicking left to right. Grimsby right to left there. It's going to be Alassana Jatta to start us off here for Notts County, the Gambian forward. As we just wait for the referee's whistle here. As both sides are ready to get underway. Notts County in their home kit, black and white colours, and for Grimsby they're in their away strip of a yellow shirt and red shorts and socks as we are underway here at Meadow Lane. It's Notts County start off on this near side with Jody Jones, their number 10, going into the defensive third here to number 28 of Lewis McCarry, to the goalkeeper Bass, who sends it forward beyond the halfway line. Looks like it's going to be a free header here for Mick Janet for Grimsby, controlling the centre circle there by Green, who's brought to the ground in the centre circle, but the referee doesn't see it as a foul, and Notts County can come away with the ball. Edge of the box, it's Crowley, the captain, onto his right foot, playing it through, looking towards Jody Jones, cut out in the box for Grimsby, towards their left wing here, as it's cleared forward, up towards the strike here of Wilson, who just shoves Matty Platt to the ground, and that'll be a free kick for Notts County. It's a quick start from both looking energetic, wanting the quick start, and we've got just that in the early exchanges there. Dan Crowley being found in a bit of space. Couldn't quite get the pass to Jody Jones, the right wing back tonight for Notts County, who collected 24 assists in the league last season for Notts County. He got 5 of them against Grimsby. He got 4 in that away 5-5 draw. As Notts County have been playing behind here, Cerula, the left wing back, towards the byline. Turns the defender who slides in. Cass gets back to his feet, tries to defend Cerula. He can play inside towards Crowley. Cut out there for Grimsby by Barrington, the right winger, who's getting back, doing his defensive work. And the header out of touch there by Notts County's number 4 of Jordan Beddoe. And it's a Grimsby throw-in on the far side, just in front of their away support in a right-back area. And it's going to be taken by their number 2, Lewis Cass, who's been brought in from Port Vale on a free, was on loan last season at Stockport County, who won the league last season. Spent the second half of the season on loan at the champions, scoring away at Grimsby as the throw-in's gone beyond the Grimsby forwards, and it's now back in the Notts County half with their left centre-half, Beddoe. Long ball forward towards Jatta, who can't quite beat Harvey Rogers to it, who goes to the ground after a push from the Notts County striker, who shakes hands with the Grimsby centre-half, and it's going to be a Grimsby Town free kick midway inside their own half here, as they go back to the goalkeeper of Jordan Wright in an all-blue kit tonight for Grimsby. Goes to the left centre-half of Cameron McJanet, low ball down the left-hand side, it's controlled, it's played back into the midfield here, where it's had to go back here by the number 20 of George McEachran. Long ball forward by the centre-half. Can't quite get it towards Wilson up front for Grimsby. Loses out on the halfway line. And it's now with Notts County on the halfway line themselves with the number 7 of Dan Crowley. It was the captain tonight. They've had multiple captains this season so far. Notts County. It started with Macaulay Langstaff, who ended up leaving for Millwall in the Championship just a few weeks ago. As Crowley, beyond one player, 20 yards out, can he shoot from the edge of the box? He can. It's well saved by the Grimsby goalkeeper and headed behind by Lewis Cass for a corner for the home side. Almost there for Dan Crowley, who's yet to score this season. Bagged 15 in the league last campaign, scoring 1 in the first 5, and that was against Grimsby at home. Just did so well, picking the ball up in a central area, getting away from McEachran, a bit too easy there to get away from the Grimsby number 20. And as he was about to shoot, Kieran Green tried to get in the way, but he was able to shoot towards the bottom left corner, saved by the goalkeeper. The ball in by Jones. It's a header up in the air by a Grimsby defender. Still alive for Notts County. It's controlled it and played back to the edge of the area to Jody Jones. Onto his right foot, he'll shoot, and it's blocked and cleared. Up into the air for Notts County. Headed out to the left-hand side, looking towards Crowley, who can't quite keep the ball in play. And it's a throw-in for Grimsby. Rapid start. Barely a break in play in the opening 4 minutes. It's still 0-0. Notts County starting the much stronger side so far. As for pre-season for Notts County, it was 2 wins in 7, losing 3, but again, plenty of goals in those 7 games, 26 altogether. As Grimsby get it to the halfway line towards their striker, Donovan Wilson, who's battling there with Matty Platt. Ball drops loose there for Notts County, number 22 of Curtis Edwards. And it's now back with the goalkeeper of Alex Bass. And they'll build out from the back here. It's Scott Robertson for Notts County. Back to the goalkeeper Bass, who's been pressed here by Davis, the Wrexham loanee. Goes to his left to Platt. Then forward to Beddoe on the far side. Keeps it in. Turns away from Barrington. Plays it into the midfield here to Robertson. Now to Crowley in the centre circle, just inside his own half. Gets into the Grimsby half. Crowley just slowing the play down. As Notts County try and get it in behind here with Jody Jones making the run into the box. It's well read by McJanet. And it'll be a throw-in right next to the corner flag for Notts County. It's what they have with Dan Crowley in their team. He can just pick a pass from anywhere and he can break through the lines. Even though we just have a year left on his deal, Notts County will be looking to try and sign him up on a new contract sooner rather than later, as Crowley again has it. On the right-hand side, one-on-one with McEachran. Bit of space to get across him, possibly he does. It's a great ball to the far post, and it's bundled home by Jatta, who started the season with plenty of goals. That's his third of the campaign. 3 games in a row where he's found the back of the net, the Notts County number 29, and of course the assist is provided by Dan Crowley. Just talking about how his vision is just so good and such a weapon for Notts County. And George McEachran, the Grimsby midfielder, just didn't get tight enough. And on that right wing, just outside the area, he bent it across into the 6-yard box. And it was so inviting for Alassana Jatta to just put his body on the line to try and beat the defender of Rogers to it. The goalkeeper also came out, but could not get there in time. And from literally 2 yards out, it's not the prettiest of finishes, but it's in the back of the net. Notts County have a very deserved lead early on here. It's 6 minutes in at Meadow Lane. It's Notts County 1, Grimsby Town 0. Like I say, three games in a row now where he scored. Alassana Jatta, brought in January of this year from Viborg for an undisclosed fee in the Danish league. And when you're getting crosses like that from Dan Crowley, they're very hard to not score chances like that. And it's Grimsby who needs to have a quick reset here because they've barely had any time on the ball. It's in the air now in their own half, brought down by Jatta. And it's a foul. There it is. Free kick goes against McEachran. Curtis Edwards brought down there for Notts County. Another summer signing, Curtis Edwards, brought in from Woking in the National League, making just his first start in the league tonight. Came off the bench in the opening game against Tranmere as Crowley has now gone to the left-hand side here, trying to link the play for Notts County. Midway side the Grimsby half, looking out to the right wing now, playing it into the space for Edwards, who works it out to the left in the area. There's a shot towards goal, and it's gone towards Jatta again. Cleared by McJanet. The ball across goal was by Cerula. I'm not sure if it was a shot or a cross. Ended up looking more like a cross, but it was almost right on the plate again for Jatta. And it's a really positive start from Notts County. They've got to make the most of this, try and get maybe another goal on the score sheet if possible. As Grimsby are struggling to clear it here. Kicked out of play by their youngster on loan from Brighton, and that's Luca Barrington. And Notts County can build again from the halfway line. And it's with their number 5, Matty Platt, brought in on a free from Bradford this summer. Signing a 2-year contract as it's dropped in the box there for Scott Robertson. Can't find Crowley, picked up by McEachran, who gets beyond one Notts County player. And there's plenty of Grimsby body forward here. He looks to try and go forward down the middle of the park to Donovan Wilson, but the pass is poor and the clearance goes straight back to Grimsby, so they can start again on this near side. On the left wing with Charles Vernon, who's been forced to go all the way back to the centre half of Cameron McJanet. And it's just a bit of possession for Grimsby. They've not had any of it in the opening 8.5 minutes. Whilst Notts County have taken the lead here. It's on the near side with their left back of Corey. Down the left-hand side, it'll be chased by Evans. There's a foul in there on the right centre half of Lewis Macari. That's a free kick for Notts County in a right-back position. Just a bit too aggressive trying to get to the ball there. The number 4 of Kieran Green, the captain for Grimsby Town. Been at the club now for 2 years. Joined in the July of 2022 from Halifax. And this free kick will be taken by Notts County's new goalkeeper of Alex Bass. Came through the Portsmouth Academy. Signed a 3-year deal here at Notts County this summer. As he clears it up to a central area. In towards Jatta, the striker. Loses out the header. Flicked on by Barrington towards Wilson. He's trying to hold it up and he plays it in behind for Davis, who's in for Grimsby. In the box, he slide tackle, but it'll drop to Vernon, who shoots. It's a great save by the goalkeeper. Davis off the ground, gets up and shoots. It's blocked, and eventually it drops to a Notts County player on the edge of the area. They clear it out to the right-hand side, where it'll be recollected for Grimsby by McJanet. And again, their first real sight at goal, and Grimsby almost score. Really good hold-up play there by Donovan Wilson to pin back the defender and flick it over the top for Davis, who, as he was trying to get away, he was just slide tackled at the moment he was about to shoot. But it's a positive sign for Grimsby that they can get in behind this Notts County defence and conjure some goal-scoring opportunities. As a switch out to the right back of Cass has just been kept in here for Grimsby. Just got possession in their own half here. It's with the right centre half of Harvey Rogers, who came through the Hull Academy and is a Leeds United supporter. Brought in last season from Accrington after rejecting a new contract at Accrington Stanley. As Grimsby just starting to move the ball a little bit, even though it's just in their own half, it'll give them confidence that they can knock the ball around here at Meadow Lane. As they only won twice last season on the road. Grimsby away at Salford in late December and then to Crewe in the middle of April. So they need to be better on the road as they go along with the goalkeeper, headed away by Bordeaux for Notts County, and it's chested away by Curtis Edwards, and it's now back with Notts County in their own half with the right wing back of Jody Jones as there is a Grimsby player down. So we're just going to get a quick stoppage of play here, just holding his head. Jordan Davis, on loan from Wrexham, and his story was well covered on the Wrexham documentary. He unfortunately lost his baby boy called Arthur in 2020, and they set up a fundraising page for the Mailer Hospital, who were looking after their baby boy, and it was a donation of £10,000 from Ryan and Rob, who famously own Wrexham, Ryan Reynolds and Rob McElhenney. They donated £10,000, and a really positive end to the story of Jordan Davis. He was his partner gave birth to a baby girl called Harlow in May of 2023. So even though he's had some really sad times, not just in the footballing side of things, but away from the football, it's nice to see that such positive stuff has come out of such a sad event. And he was almost in there to score if it wasn't for a really big slide challenge in the defence for Notts County. And Jordan Davis is just getting helped back to his feet here. It looks like he's clapping the away support. So it's an early exit off the pitch, unfortunately, for their main man at the moment. Jordan Davis, brought in on a loan from Wrexham. He scored 2 goals in their 3-2 win against Cheltenham last time out on Saturday. And that's a real shame. I'm not quite sure what exactly the injury is. I think it might be muscular. It don't look like a head injury. He might have just had his head in his hands in, just disappointment. And he'll be replaced by Callum Ainley, who, again, last season was diagnosed with thyroid cancer in 2024 and returned in the April. So he spent 4 months out due to the thyroid cancer, but he was given the all clear and got through that and was back on the pitch before the end of last season, which was great to see. So an early change for Grimsby, 1-0 down, and they have had to bring off Jordan Davis, who looks like he's picked up an injury, and on comes number 16, Callum Ainley, who is a central midfielder, and he signed a 1-year extension of his contract at the end of last season. Worked with the current manager of Grimsby at Crewe, his previous club, Callum Ainley. So it's going to be a goal kick here for Grimsby. 13 minutes in, they are trailing by a 0 to Notts County, who got their goal scoring underway with a Crowley assist, put in the back of the net from about 2 yards out by Alassana Jatta, who gets his 3rd goal of the season as the Grimsby goalkeeper clears it away up towards the halfway line. It's poked towards the midfield there by Wilson, but it's won back for Notts County by Crowley, just keeping it away from Evans, and he's looking out to the right-hand side here. Crowley crosses early again towards Jatta over his head and had to be flipped behind for a corner kick on the far side there by Lewis Cass, taking no risks, and it's another Notts County attack where they look like they can score every time they go forward, especially with Dan Crowley on the ball, who played in central midfield in their last game at the weekend against Fleetwood, and he's been put in a more advanced position tonight, as you can see on screen, just a bit further ahead in the wider areas. So he definitely looked to be more effective from those more advanced positions, as he'll go short from the corner here. Crowley plays it to Jody Jones, who will go one more to his right here, and then back out to Jody Jones, who's 1-on-1 with McEachran. Goes on the outside of him and crosses with the left foot. He's chested by Crowley. Great touch and a great finish into the bottom right corner. Grimsby Town are asking for a whistle that will not come to their aid. And he's already started tonight in 15 minutes with a goal and an assist. And what a start from the Notts County captain of Dan Crowley. Came through the Arsenal Academy, and you can see why He's definitely got the talent, the 27-year-old. And all from a Notts County corner. They were patient and persistent down the left-hand side. It was whipped in by Jody Jones. I don't think it was meant for Crowley, but he was able to chest it down. And as it came off his chest, did it nick off his hand? Off the chest, and that looks like it came off the right hand. But within the 6-yard box on the angle, he was able to shoot across goal. And he was able to beat Jordan Wright in the Grimsby goal. It's come off both hands. I think he came off his chest and then onto his right hand, then bounced off his left hand, and then down onto the floor where he controlled and finished. I think Grimsby Town will feel like they've been hard done by there. That probably should have been a free kick for handball. Came off not just one hand, but came off both. But it wasn't given by Ollie Yates. Dan Crowley won't complain. Notts County double their lead, and at Meadow Lane, it's Notts County 2, Grimsby 0. What a start here for the Magpies. And Grimsby just have not got going, but they've not been allowed to get going. Really positive from Notts County as they've already got the ball back and they go long towards Jatta, the striker. Loses out there to the centre-half of Rogers. It's now Crowley on the halfway line. Keeps it away from Evans in a Grimsby shirt, and Crowley will look to get it in behind here for Jody Jones. It will bounce out towards the corner flag, and Jody Jones will keep it in. One-on-one here with Corey. Goes onto his left foot. Playing it back here to Crowley, who's joined the attack. Crosses first time towards the head of Jatta. And it looks like it's a head collision there with the number 5 of Harvey Rogers. Both are down on the floor. And it's a free kick given to Grimsby. Dan Crowley again with a wicked ball in. And the medical team for both sides have been waved onto the field of play here for Harvey Rogers and Alassana Jatta, as they both look like they've just collided heads. We'll have to get a replay of, I think it was possibly Jatta heading the back of Rogers' head. But it is Notts County who are 2 up. Controversially, it must be said, because I think that Dan Crowley goal should have been disallowed for a double handball. He did really well to get it on his chest, but as he chested it, it's almost like he had 2 hands up like he was about to catch it, and it bounced off one hand, then bounced off the other, and fell nicely for him to just drill it into that far corner. Good finish, just through the legs of the goalkeeper right, but Grimsby have every right to be a little bit dismayed how that's not been ruled out, because it clearly came off both hands, but there's no VAR in League 2, so they're going to have to deal with the decision. Don't get me wrong, Grimsby haven't been good enough, but still, when you get decisions like that go against you, it's still really frustrating. So just a bit of a pause in play here as both Harvey Rogers and Alassana Jatta are receiving treatment for that head injury. And interestingly enough, in the last game between these two at Grimsby in that 5-5 draw, it was Grimsby who went 2-0 up and Notts County pulled it back to 2-2, and then Grimsby went 3-2 up, then 3-3, and then 4-3 to Grimsby, then 4-4, then 5-4 to Notts County, then 5-5. It was back and forth for the majority. But if we get more goals tonight, could we see possibly a Grimsby comeback as Jatta, the Notts County striker, is back to his feet and shows Rogers, this Grimsby centre-half. So they'll be back on the pitch as soon as possible. Goal kick taken by Grimsby's by Jordan Wright. As again, Grimsby just missing a centre-half at the moment. Looks like they're going to go to a possible back 3. It's Lewis Cassett, right centre-half at the moment. It's now Barrington, who I think is covering it right at back. It's now the left centre-half of Mick Janet. Both players still not back on the pitch as of yet, as Grimsby have it just midway inside their own half with the number 20 of George McEachran, former England under-19 international. Spent the majority of his youth career coming through at Chelsea. As they are both back on the pitch now, Jatta and Rogers. As down the far side, Grimsby trying to go forward towards Wilson, the striker. Cleared though by Platt. Straight to Jatta on the left wing, who can control it nicely. Keeps it away from Cass. And plays it into the midfield here to number 20 of Robertson. Forward to Edwards. He's got space out wide to the right, and he'll use it with the pass to Jody Jones, who's got 2 Grimsby players around him, and he can't get away from the left back of Corey, who clears it down the touchline, and that'll go out for a Grimsby throw-in. Yeah, as he cleared it down the line, it did deflect off Jones. Taken quickly, thrown back here to McJanet, who's allowed time to clear the ball forward here for Grimsby. Up to the halfway line, look for the striker. Wilson goes over him and Platt. Through for Notts County's new signing of Jacob Badeau. And it's back with Notts County with their goalkeeper, Alex Bass. We're 20 minutes in and it's Notts County 2, Grimsby Town 0. It's been a fantastic start to the game for Notts County. And we know this is what they can do. Like I say, last season, under Luke Williams, they won 8 of their first 10 games at home. Their biggest win last season was 5-0 at home against Morecambe just before New Year. As a poor clearance from the goalkeeper, Bass drops straight here. Oh, and it's just played out of play. It dropped originally to Charles Vernon, who got it forward then to Kieran Green. But as he tried to return it out wide to Vernon, he just played it in front of him and out of play for a Notts County throw-in. And it'll be taken here by Lewis Macari, the Scottish centre-half, whose dad, uncle and granddad all played professional football. Lewis Macari, so runs in the family for sure. As he's long throwing down the line, comes off the head of Corey for Grimsby. And it's now Vernon, tries the 1-2 with Green, and it's tackled there by Macari. And that'll be a throw-in on this near side for Grimsby towards the final third, as they look for a route back into this game. Be taken here by Evan Corey. Grimsby's number 30. Brought in now 5 years ago from West Ham, only at the age of 21 now. The number 30, as he goes back to the halfway line, to McJanet, the left centre-half. Press here from Edwards for Notts County, and he forces McJanet back to the goalkeeper of Jordan Wright, who came through the Nottingham Forest Academy. Of course, next door neighbours to Notts County. As it's still with the goalkeeper Wright in the 18-yard box. He's going to be forced to go long with his left foot. It's a high ball just beyond the halfway line. It goes towards Wilson as it goes over the head of Platt. Wilson for Grimsby, about 30 yards from goal, thinking about the shot, slipping it through into the area, looking for the run of Barrington, just played behind the number 14 and seen behind for a goal kick. An almost chance. It's good to see Grimsby get Donovan Wilson running at goal, because the striker, wants to be in goal-scoring opportunities. He was a little bit too far away for the shot, so tried the pass instead, as Notts County go long here from the goal kick, looking for Jatta out wide left over here, asking too much of the striker to get on the end of that ball, and in a right-back position, it's a Grimsby Town throw-in. 4-hour round trip altogether on the roads for Grimsby. 2 hours here, 2 hours back, as at the moment it is Scott Robertson who is down for Notts County. Not quite sure what happened to the Scottish central midfielder. Came in midway through last season on a free from Fleetwood. This is just his second appearance of the season. Came off the bench in their last game against Fleetwood. 23-year-old just going to receive some treatment here. Again, not quite sure what happened to Scott Robertson. Turned 23 at the back end of July. But Notts County took an early lead. I know we're still early on in the game, but they took an even earlier lead 6 minutes in with Alassana Jatta. It was a brilliant ball in from Crowley, and he had to tap it in from about 2 yards out. And then Crowley got himself on the score sheet, putting in a low-driven shot to the bottom right corner after he chested down a whip ball in from Jody Jones. But as he controlled it off the chest, it did look like it also came off both hands as he brought the ball down. So a bit controversial, but he's been fantastic so far, Crowley, so he probably deserves his goal, even though it didn't probably come in the fairest of ways with the use of the hand. Like I say, Jody Jones' ball, I don't think it was aimed for Crowley, because he properly whipped it in, and Crowley was at the near post, but he decided to try and chest it down, and almost chested it perfectly, but his hands were used to almost just cushion it even more for him. It was a good finish across the goal, beating the goalkeeper, but yeah, probably should have been disallowed, and with VAR, it probably would have been disallowed. As Scott Robertson here for Notts County is just walking here towards the near touchline. Hopefully it's not his game over. We've already had one injury so far, and that's Jordan Davis for Grimsby. He came off an injury, and he's been replaced by Callum Ainley. Does look like he might have to be replaced here 24 minutes in. He's just having a word with Robertson. Notts County are readying Jack Hinchy, another central midfielder, just in case he can't continue, as a throw-in from Grimsby, headed forward by Badeau. But won back by McEachran, cleared by Grimsby. It's a header that's not been won by Platt, but there was a push in the back as he tried to win the header. So it's a free kick for Notts County. Rather fortunate there for Matty Platt because Donovan Wilson was away. And they are not taking the risk with Scott Robertson. And he's having to make way early. So it's a substitution for Notts County. And it's a new signing, Jack Hinchy, who they brought in on a free from Brighton. He had started the previous 3 games of this season, the 2 in the league and the game in the League Cup, and he was subbed off in all 3 between the 63rd minute and the 69th. But tonight he's had to come off the bench, but he'll still play another 60-odd minutes as Grimsby have a free kick in the right-back area, a shove on George McEachran. Thank you to everyone who's here. If you could like and subscribe, that'd be fantastic. Next commentary is on Sunday, 3 o'clock kickoff, Swansea taking on Cardiff. And they say the commentary after that is Celtic Rangers. I think I've got another one in between that as well. So I'll let you guys know what commentaries are coming up in the next few weeks. Very shortly, as Grimsby in their defensive third on the near side, trying to play it down the line. And the second clearance is gone further this time for McJanet, but headed forward by Hinchy. Always fires Corey for Grimsby into the midfield for McEachran, surrounded by black and white shirts, and he overruns it, and the ball's loose, and he's helped out by Corey, the left back, and Grimsby just about keep it away. Because if they lose it there towards their defensive third, they will be in big danger. It's Grimsby get it up towards Donovan Wilson, the striker, holds it up really well and plays it into Evans, who in the centre circle goes back to McEachran. And Grimsby push up the pitch here, halfway line, far side, it's Cass. Down the line for Barrington, who's got Bordeaux, forcing him away from goal. Barrington has the run of Cass from fullback and he feeds him. Keeps it in. No, he can't. Touches heavy. And it's touched out for a goal kick. That is celebrated as well for Notts County by Nick Cerula. Their signing brought in from Crawley. More positive, though, from Lewis Cass, the right back there from Grimsby, actually getting forward and trying to get a cross into the box. I live not too far away from the county ground. There's a lot of noise. Like I said, yeah, there's very little difference between Notts County Stadium, Meadow Lane, and the City Ground for Nottingham Forest. Like I say, 270 metres away. I've been to Notts County away myself, and they are literally next to each other, the 2 stadiums. It's actually quite, amazing how 2 stadiums can be so close together. A bit like Anfield and Goodison. There's plenty of examples, but when you go to Notts County and you just see the City Ground, in the distance, not too far away, it's pretty cool. As Notts County go along up towards Jatta, the striker, in the Grimsby half, header won by Rogers, the Grimsby centre half, but only as far as Notts County's number 11 of Connor Grant, and it's now with Cerula trying to attack down the left-hand side, brought down fairly, according to the referee. Grimsby have it back on the edge of their 18-yard box here with McJanet going to the left back of Corey, playing it forward away from Jody Jones, but straight to Macari. Not quite sure who he was aiming for there, the Grimsby left back. No one in a yellow shirt was there for Grimsby, and it's now with Crowley on the halfway line for Notts County, playing it to Macari on this near side, then back to Crowley, who's almost playing as the right centre-back here at the moment. He tries to create from deep in the Notts County structure. Goes forward here to Edwards, then back to Crowley. Then lifts it down the right-hand side here for Macari. Forward from centre-half, couldn't quite control it, and it's just about bounced out for Grimsby Town, throwing on this near side. And it was unfortunate for Notts County last season as Grimsby have won it back there. It looks like they'd lost it momentarily and they've gone long towards Wilson, the striker. Again, Platt not looking very confident aerially, but he's been helped by centre-back partner of Bordeaux. And Notts County can attack again on the halfway line at the moment with the captain Crowley. Plays it to the right to Macari. Space here for Jody Jones as he's found by Crowley. Jones running at Corey into the final third. Onto the right foot, towards the byline, it crosses in, and it's a bit of a weak one. Easy catch at the near post for the goalkeeper, Jordan Wright. As it looks like, as he crossed it there, Jody Jones may have just been caught slightly, but he's already back to his feet. And he actually plays for Malta's international team, Jody Jones. He's played 12 times for Malta, yet to score, but he has featured twice for them against England. One time at Wembley, as well as Bordeaux, turned by Barrington, has to pull him down. That could be a booking there for Jacob Bordeaux. I think he'll be quite fortunate to get away with that, and he's not got away with it. Yellow card for Jacob Bordeaux, one of the highest performing centre-halves in the league last season for Morecambe. Played 43 games for them in the league. 2 goals away at Doncaster and at home to Harrogate. So, booking for Jacob Bordeaux. It's a chance possibly for Grimsby to get this ball into the box just under half an hour in. They trail by 2-0. It's going to be a delivery in by Lewis Cass, who came through the Newcastle Academy. And Cass plays it down the right-hand side here, and he's going to overlap, but he won't be used. Vernon goes to Corey, and then back out to the right here. It's now with Cass. Can they get the ball in the box here? Grimsby on that right-hand side. First cross deflects off two Notts County players, and they can try and clear it here with Crowley in a left-back position. Up it goes. Header won, though, by Corey. And it's Evans on the edge of the area for Grimsby. Takes it into the box, but Crowley's there, and he dispossesses Crowley, and he pulls it back. And it's well defended by Bordeaux. Deflecting it behind for a corner on that far side for Grimsby. Well won there by Kieran Green, putting in the effort and the hard yards to really harass that back line of Notts County. That's going to be a delivery in here by Grimsby's number 10 of Charles Vernon. It's made well over 100 appearances now for Grimsby as he crosses it into the 6-yard box. Header away by Jatta, and has to be helped away there for Notts County by Hinchy. Back into the box for Grimsby. 2 headers, gets it in there, and a third by McJanet. Puts it into the gloves of the goalkeeper of Bass, who quickly rolls it out to this near side for Jody Jones. As Notts County look to try and counter-attack as quickly as possible. He breaks into the Grimsby half. Has to hold it up here. Not really many options going forward. So has to go back into Hinchy. And then into the left centre half of Bordeaux, who touched it into the centre circle and turns away from one Grimsby player. And then plays out to the left to Cerula. It's now Grant. Away from McEachran. Grant running forward on the left wing for Notts County. Just towards the edge of the area. Stops. Holds it up. Still turning away from multiple Grimsby players. And plays it back to Bordeaux. It's now back out to Grant. Bordeaux again. Forward for Cerula. Playing it through for Bordeaux, who's carried on his run, and he crosses into the box. Header away by McJanet, only as far as Edwards, who rolls it in here for Jatta on his left foot. Well saved by the left leg of Wright. And he goes behind for a corner for Notts County. Probably should have had his second in the game there. Alassana Jatta. Well worked down the Notts County left by Cerula and Bordeaux. Poor header away by McJanet, straight to the chest of Edwards. And as he slipped it through for Jatta, he was onside. Kept onside by the left back of Corey. And probably should have scored. Good save though. Notts County goes short from the resulting corner. Crowley gets the return ball back. Finds himself in the area, left hand side, onto his right foot. Cross deflects to the edge of the area. Edwards plays it back to Jody Jones. Still alive here for Notts County. They've kept the centre halves forward. Now Crowley takes on McEachran. Crowley on his own, running across the box. Still has it despite multiple challenges. And plays it back here to Macari. Out wide to Crowley, who's continued his run. Crowley spinning away from Corey. And crossing it into the area. Poor clearance! And eventually goes behind for a corner. Cass the one averting the danger. But this is the Dan Crowley show. He is running it. Dan Crowley. And Grimsby do not know how to deal with him. I'm very surprised he's still at the club. You know, Dan Crowley did score 15 times last season in the league with 10 assists. So you'd think, you know, teams from the levels above might be sniffing around him. As from the resulting corner, it's whipped in and it's a header away. Well, as far as the edge of the box here. As it's put back in by Cerula for Notts County. Header away for Grimsby by Vernon. Then out to the left wing here as the counter-attack's on. McEachran. Ball forward, it's a great ball. Wilson helps it on once more as the referee decks it and the ball's too heavy. Couldn't quite find Barrington. And that's a big chance there for Grimsby. They've let go to waste. Breaking quickly. Wilson wanting to try and play it through first time for Barrington, who would have been one-on-one with the goalkeeper, but the ball was overhit. And I could not see the referee Ollie Yates trip and deck it whilst he was trying to keep up with the Grimsby counter-attack there. As they play out from the back here, Notts County. Hinchy, ball down the right side, into the space for Jody Jones, who will get there in the final third. That's a brilliant pass by Hinchy. Jones now, one-on-one with Corey. Onto his left foot. He's got the overlap of Macari. Jody Jones will deliver it in himself, and it's caught in the 6-yard box by the goalkeeper of Jordan Wright. And Grimsby will try and attack quickly. This is where the game becomes open and the structure starts to fade away. Barrington on the edge of the area. Enters the box, tackled by Hinchy. Still alive for Grimsby. He's flicked it here to his right, to Green. It's down to Barrington. Takes a touch. Can he get around Bordeaux? No, he can't. Bordeaux turns him instead. And on his left foot, he'll clear it down the left-hand side. only as far as Rogers for Grimsby, which well defended by Bordeaux. Wasn't allowing Luca Barrington to get the better of him for a second time in a row. We've got 10 minutes left of this second half. It's Notts County 2, Grimsby Town 0. 2 goals in 15 minutes for Notts County is the difference so far. The first one assisted by Dan Crowley and the second one scored by Dan Crowley. It's on the edge of the 18-yard box for Grimsby. Played forward into the middle of their half to Green. Plays it to Cass. Just about keeps it in. No, he can't. Just did not expect that pass from Green, who lets Cass know that he needs to be pushing up more. Just sat a little bit too deep. And Notts County have it on the halfway line. Back into their own half with Matty Platt, who lost the League 2 playoff semi-final 2 seasons ago with Bradford against Carlisle, who went on to then win promotion to League 1, beating Stockport County at Wembley that season. As Bass, the goalkeeper, goes for a long ball towards Jatta over his head and rolls through to the Grimsby goalkeeper of Jordan Wright, who has had 5 months of his career spent in Scotland back in 2021, but for the majority he's played his football in England. The now 25-year-old goalkeeper. That's McJanet for Grimsby on this near side. Clears it low for Vernon. His touch is really poor. Took off him by Macari. And Notts County have won it in the Grimsby half. They look to get it out to the left-hand side into Grant. It's now Cerula running at Cass on the inside. Spinning back onto his left foot. Running into traffic, but he keeps it away from McEachran as well. Still with Nick Cerula, who needs to release it if possible. Plays it here to Connor Grant. Now into the middle of the park here to Curtis Edwards. And then spreading it to this near side to Jody Jones. Running into the final third. Macari's trying to get up there with the overlap, but Jody Jones cuts inside onto his left foot and strikes from afar! And that is not far wide. That was almost an absolute perler from Jody Jones. And they need some help out of there, Grimsby, because the young left-back, Evan Corey, is struggling. He knows Jody Jones can go on his right foot or cut into his left. That time he cut onto his left foot and he was bending it towards the far corner and it was just a yard or so wide. Not far away from Jody Jones. As mentioned before, he collected 24 assists last season in the league alongside 6 goals that he scored as well. And that was almost an absolute cracker. Scored the equaliser in the 95th minute of the weekend to salvage a draw against Fleetwood as Grimsby attacked down the far side here with Ainley, the central midfielder, into the box towards Evans, who tries to get the ball across, but it's a bit wild and put wide of the post, and it's a goal kick for Notts County. Notts County ground is in Nottingham City and Nottingham Forest. The City ground is in Nottinghamshire County. Very interesting. Like I say, they are almighty close together, those two stadiums. You know, even more so in person when you see it all together. So, Notts County start in their 18-yard box. The goalkeeper, Alex Bass, plays a ball forward to Crowley. He's got Evans closing him down and he can't quite get tight enough to him. Crowley, again, this is a pleasure to watch. Completes a quick little 1-2 with Curtis Edwards. And he gets the ball back here, Crowley, in a right centre-half position, midway side his own half. I think Grimsby are scared to press him because he can just get past them so easily. Still Crowley, who's just drifted into a more central area with the ball. Plays it to Edwards. Then to the right centre-half of Macari. Down the line to Jody Jones, who takes the touch inside, but the free kick's been given for Notts County. Edwards just pushed off the ball there as he received it and gave it back to Notts County man. So Notts County again, just trying to get out of their own half here, not wanting to go long at the moment, just keeping it with some simple passes. Hinchy. Ball round the corner, high up towards halfway. Header won by Corey ahead of Jones. And the handball has gone against the Grimsby number 16. That's quite unfortunate. Of Callum Ainley. Of course, Notts County were let off with a handball. That was a part of their second goal with Dan Crowley. Callum Ainley there just controlling. It did look like he controlled with his arm. Free kick for the home side. Who ended last season okay, Notts County. They won 3 of their last 5. But their worst run was 2 wins in 16. The last game under Luke Williams ended in defeat, I believe, to Tranmere. And then the following 15 under Stuart Maynard just was a really bad run of form from the start of the new year to the start of April, as Jody Jones crossing the box, cleared on the edge of the 6-yard box by McEachran, throwing on this near side in the final third for Notts County. But it's just not quite clicked yet for Notts County under the management of Stuart Maynard. Like I say, 5 wins from 22 so far. But they can definitely play. And I think once they really get clicking, a full season under Stuart Maynard, and hopefully they can start pushing up towards the playoff spots this season. As for Notts County, they have won 3 league titles at this level, the last being in 2010, and how they would love to be promoted as champions. Weren't quite promoted as champions from the National League when they got out of the 5th tier a couple of years ago. Pipped to the league title by Wrexham, who finished on 111 points. Notts County finished on 107. As it's Notts County still on the ball on the edge of the 18-yard box with the goalkeeper Bass. Just less than 5 minutes to go with the first half. Still 2-0 to Notts County. Thanks to everyone who's still around. And if you haven't liked and subscribed, please do. Bass goes long up towards Jatta. Poked away by the centre-half of Rogers, but straight to Edwards, who tries to feed it back through to Jatta. Header away, though, by Big Janet. But all as far as Edwards again, who picks it up. It's now Jody Jones. Edwards has made an advanced run, but Jody Jones instead will go out to the left. And he can't quite find Cerula. Just overhit. Couldn't quite get it under control. Just went under his foot. And in a right-back position in the defensive third for Grimsby, they have got themselves a throw-in. Grimsby have lost 5 of their last 6 league away games, including this season and the back end of last season. It's a long throw down the line. Can't be held up by Wilson. Won back by Notts County. And then given away on the edge of the area. Cleared there by Rogers, but then lost again. Poor loose touch by the striker of Donovan Wilson. And it was picked back up by Hinchy for Notts County. It's now Crowley into Edwards. Crowley, loads of space for Cerula on the left, but Crowley ignores him. In the centre of the park, he goes out to the right instead to Jody Jones. Again, Macari overlapping. And again, not used. Jones onto his left foot. Try to keep himself away from Vernon. Forward to Crowley, who's brought down on the edge of the area. Fairly, according to the referee. And Grimsby can break. Barrington over the top and out to the left here to Wilson. It's a brilliant ball. He's onside but isolated in the area on the left-hand side. Gets it across and it drops here. Can the shot get taken? No, it can't. And no penalty given. Callum Ainley brought down. And the referees waved away the penalty. Grimsby must just think that the footballing gods are just against them tonight. That looked like a stonewall penalty, not given. Huge chance for Grimsby right before the break to try and half the deficit. But it stays Notts County 2, Grimsby 0. Donovan Wilson on the left-hand side put it across, and there was a foot out there by Bordeaux. And it left the ball free in the box, and Ainley collected it. And it looked like he was just pulled down, but the referee said no. And remains 2-0. Wow. Surprising. I thought that was a foul for me. But the referee says no. But Grimsby have it again, near side, halfway line. Vernon. Got McEachran to his left, and he finds him. And then gives it away. And Edwards forward to Jatta, then lays it back to Crowley. In the centre circle, going to the left centre half of Jacob Bordeaux. It's now Crowley again, the number 7. To the right centre half of Lewis Macari. Got a contract here until 2027. Goes to Jatta, the striker, holding the ball up, playing it to the right to Edwards. Back to Macari. It's now Jody Jones again. Inside to Edwards, wants the 1-2, but it deflects back to him off McEachran, and then Edwards gets the ball over the top down the left-hand side. It's a perfect ball for Cerula. One-on-one with Cass, running towards goal, lays it off for Crowley, who's tackled well by Barrington. Played forward here now for Ainley. Gets it through the legs of Hinchy, and Grimsby can look to counter-attack if possible. It's Evans on the far side. Forced to go back, though, to the halfway line to Cass. But Grimsby have got pretty much everyone inside the Notts County half here. McJanet, the left centre half, loads of space to bring it forward. Goes out to the left to Corey. Down the line for their number 10, who gets it all the way across the box and no one's there to meet it. What a ball that is by Vernon. Right across the 6-yard box, but no one's committed. That should have been a tap-in for the likes of Donovan Wilson, their striker up front. And they're going to show this penalty instant again. The ball went across the box, stopped by Bordeaux, And Ainley just nicked it away from Hinchy, who looked like he caught him and then just pulled him down. Maybe Ainley's looking for it a little bit. There was a left arm, though, by Hinchy that was stopping Ainley from getting back towards the ball. So I think there's definitely arguments for a penalty and no penalty. But no penalty was the outcome in the end, as Bordeaux clears it for Notts County. It deflects off a Grimsby man as well, throwing for the home side. So we've got 6 minutes added on. Seems like a lot, but we have had 2 injuries, 2 substitutes already. Grimsby having to take off Jordan Davis early on, and Notts County have had to bring off Scott Robertson as well. So we've had a couple of stoppages, and then we had a head collision stoppage for Harvey Rogers and Alassane Jatta. So plenty of stoppages which merit the 6 added on here at the end of the first half. 2-0 to Notts County, deserved, but Grimsby will probably feel hard done by. They probably should have had a goal themselves, and that second Notts County goal had a hint of handball involved. Jatta dropping deep in the centre circle, then spraying out to the right hand side to Jody Jones. Plenty of grass to run into in front of him, and he'll take it into the box and cross it with the right boot, and he goes all the way in. Off the inside of the post and in. And Jody Jones has his second of the season. Salvaged the point in the last game from the penalty spot against Fleetwood. This time around, it's a corker into the top left corner. Hint of fortune, because it was probably a cross. But it became a shot as that ball was heading over the goalkeeper of Jordan Wright. Found in so much space on this near side, and he was isolated with the left back of Corey, who showed him down the line. And as he looked to cross it, it's most certainly a cross. It's instead gone inside of the post, nicked off the post in fact, and into the back of the net. He didn't mean it, but he'll certainly take it. And in added on time at the end of this first half, it's Notts County 3, Grimsby 0. And Jody Jones with goals in back-to-back games now for Notts County. The League 2 Player of the Season is performing again for the Magpies. And the Mariners will be completely scratching their heads thinking, how is this game 3-0? The second goal shouldn't have stood. The first goal was rather sloppy. The third goal was quite lucky. And they have had an odd attack here and there. But it's just been a half to forget for Grimsby Town, surely. As McEachran, midway inside the Notts County half, has the ball as it breaks loose. It's now out to the right wing to Barrington. Cass has continued his run, and Barrington finds him for the 1-2. Cass, the right back, 1-on-1 with Jatta, who's back doing his defensive work, the striker. Has to go back to Barrington. It's now McEachran towards the halfway line with the pass to Rogers. Across into the centre circle here with McJanet. Corey, the left back, forward. Vernon brought down, Ainley brought down, and that'll be a free kick for Grimsby on this near side, about 15 yards inside the Notts County half, so possibly a chance just to pump this ball forward. This game just offers so many goals. You know, last season we had 15 goals between these two, including that 5-5 draw at Grimsby. It'll be Vernon to deliver the ball into the box, to the far post. The first header's won, and it drops here for Rogers, who squeezes it into the bottom left corner. And Grimsby have one back. Harvey Rogers with the goal. And it's a lifeline for Grimsby Town. As instead of going in at half-time, 3 goals down, it'll just be the 2 instead. And it's just the most basic free kick goal you'll ever see. They won the first knockdown, and it dropped to Rogers on the penalty spot, who was allowed to touch it away from him to give himself that space to swing a right boot at it, and perfectly into the bottom left corner. No chance for the goalkeeper, Alex Bass. And Grimsby have one back, it's 3-1. This fixture just loves goals. And so do I. This is great. 3-1 to Notts County. Harvey Rogers with the goal. It's his first of the season. Good knockdown, I believe, by Lewis Cass. But the fact that Harvey Rogers was allowed to take that touch and then shoot isn't good enough by Notts County. They've got to be tighter to him on the penalty spot. But Grimsby have one back. We've had 2 goals here in added on time at the end of this first half. We've played almost 5 minutes of the 6 added on. As it drops again for Grimsby on the halfway line with Lewis Cass spreading it out to the right wing to Barrington. 1-on-1 here with Cerula. He'll try and go around him here. Barrington still has it towards the byline. Tries to play it into the run of Cass, but he's just overhit it. Asking too much Cass, and it'll roll out for a goal kick. He's annoyed with himself there, Luca Barrington, on loan from Brighton for the season. But there's definitely hope here for Grimsby that they can get back in this. I know it's 3-1, but if they can carry on playing like this in the second half, where they're, finding space and they're enjoying passages of play in the Notts County half, then they can get some more goals, because we know that the Notts County defence isn't very strong. Conceding 86 goals last season in the league, more than any other League 2 side. Goal kick goes long by Alex Bass, up towards Jatta, but headed won by Mick Janet instead. Controlled by Vernon, and played forward for the run of Barrington, just overhit though, and it'll go through to the edge of the box here to the goalkeeper of Alex Bass, who will pick it up. Played the 6 added on here, but we might get maybe a minute more due to the fact we've had 2 goals within the added on time. Big kick forward by the goalkeeper, headed backwards though for Grimsby by McJanet, volleyed by Corey, the left back. Now to play on the far side for Notts County, just inside their own half with the throw-in. What a joke Town are today. Honestly, the 2 of the goals have been rather unfortunate as the referee blows for half-time here at Meadow Lane. It's Notts County 3, Grimsby Town 1. Plenty of goals again in this fixture. The first was scored in the 6th minute. Alassana Jatta with a 2-yard tap-in after a brilliant crossing by Dan Crowley, and Crowley got himself on the score sheet. It was a whip ball into the near post. He chested it down with the control, which was helped by a touch of a hand, but the referee didn't see the handball, and he buried it into the bottom right corner. The goal was given, and it gave Notts County a 2-goal lead within 15 minutes, and their domination continued. But their 3rd goal came in the 1st minute of added on time. Jody Jones attacking down the right-hand side. He looked to cross it to the far post, but instead of finding a man, he found the back of the net. It clipped off the far post, and he made it 3-0. But Grimsby didn't give up fight at the end of the half. They launched a free kick into the box. The first header was won by Lewis Cass. It dropped to Harvey Rogers, who took one touch and a shot to the bottom left corner. It crept in. It gives Grimsby that lifeline. They're only 2 goals behind now, with another 45 to play as here at Meadow Lane at half-time. It is Grimsby who trail, but it's Notts County who lead by 3 goals to 1. So let's try and get the camera back in focus. But it's been a game full of goals. So I'm just trying to get myself back in focus a little bit. There we go. So yeah, 3-1, plenty of goals. Notts County dominating, and they've looked much better. But like I said, the 2nd goal probably should have been disallowed for handball. The 3rd goal was a cross. Quite unlucky that's, crept in for a goal. But at least we've got one back, of course. And again, Grimsby had a penalty shout themselves at 2-0. Callum Ainley being brought down by Jack Hinchy. So, Grimsby have had openings and goal, but I definitely think Notts County have been the better side, but have also tasted a little bit of good fortune with a couple of their goals. But it's just crazy how this fixture always coughs up goals. Like I say, last season at Meadow Lane, Notts County won 3-2, so could get a repeat of that scoreline again. And then the second game, the famous 5-5 draw in mid-January, away at Grimsby. So another 4 goals here today already in the first half. As it was just such a disappointing it was a little bit of second season syndrome for Grimsby, because they finished 11th in the first season back after promotion from the National League via the playoffs. They finished 11th, and then it just didn't carry on that momentum. Finishing 21st on 49 points is pretty low. Losing 19 games, and just the 2 wins at home, 2 wins away from home, for Grimsby last season, obviously just not good enough. And again, they lost the first game of the season away against Fleetwood. Yes, it was just 1-0, but it's another away defeat. And again, conceding 3 again tonight away from home definitely shows that Grimsby Town have got some issues playing away from Blundell Park, that's for sure. Was the first goal, like I've heard, they had 2 players offside. I don't think there was offsides for the first goal. I mean, we'll see replays in a second. I'll have a look for you. There's adverts on at the minute. The second goal was definitely a handball. It was a cross whipped in by Jody Jones. I mean, he hit it with power. And then Crowley chested it with his touched it down with his chest. But as it bounced off his chest, it also came off his hand as well, which helped it fall to his feet. And then he put it into the back of the net. But I'm not sure about offside for the first goal. I don't know. I'd have to have a look. I'd have to have another look at that one. But that first goal, it was a great cross by Dan Crowley. As I've said, it's been the Dan Crowley show. First half, he's been phenomenal. I always try and say phenomenal, and I can never say the word. He's been fantastic. Well, I've got a picture here on Twitter, actually. I'm sorry. I think he is offside. I do think he's offside for that first goal. Oh, Grimsby Town. They have had an absolute nightmare in the first half. All 3 goals have been very unfortunate to concede. It does look like the goal scorer, Alassane Jatta, was offside as Crowley put the cross in. And then for the second goal, Crowley used his hand to control the ball down off his chest. And then the third goal was just obviously a cross from Jody Jones, which quite fortunately turned into a shot into the back of the net. So all 3 goals could have been, and really should have been, avoided for Grimsby Town, and not really down to their own, own doings. It's been other outside factors that have led the 3 goals to stand. I mean, the argument I'd have for the first goal is he is offside, 100% he's offside, but Dan Crowley should never have been allowed to get that cross in. They stood off him too much. And like I say, they shouldn't have let him have that space in time to cross the ball into the box. But that is still no excuse. He is offside. It's tight, but the official should be seeing that, really, in my opinion. Still a good finish though by Jatta, who with his left leg was able to put it home. Not even his foot was used. His left leg was the one that was the body part that got the ball in the back of the net. And then the second goal, the original touch off his chest was so good, but the fact it's just flicked off his hand obviously means it really shouldn't have stood. It came off both hands as well. It's almost like he clapped the ball together as he brought it down. I know I'm laughing, and I shouldn't laugh, because if you're Grimsby Town, you're absolutely furious. But a nice tidy finish though by Crowley, who bags his first of the season. I mean, they're slowing down the replay. I don't know why. You don't need to slow it down. It's pretty obvious full speed that it's handball, not off just the right hand, but off the left hand as well. And the third goal, Jody Jones scoring 2 in 2. Yeah, definitely a cross on his 100th League 2 appearance, scoring his 16th goal, just his 9th for Notts County, but he's not all about the goals, Jody Jones. He is more about the creativity and assisting. Like I say, 24 assists last season in League 2, 5 of them against Grimsby over the 2 games. Absolutely ridiculous. However, the first season we played shocking at home but amazing away. It's funny how it changes, isn't it? One season you're great at home and shocking away, and then you're shocking away, and then you pick up more points at home. It's a funny old game. I definitely feel like, for sure, you're better off being stronger at home. But at the same time as well, you can't be winning 2 games away from home all season in the league. It's just not good enough at all. Classic refs versus Town at this point. Whereas, honestly, I genuinely think VAR would definitely chalked off Notts County's first 2 goals. Definitely. I mean, the third one is just unlucky. I mean, the goal's fine. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just the fact that Jody Jones definitely meant to cross the ball. But again, Notts County, poor defending for that goal they conceded. It's well taken. by Harvey Rodgers, the centre-half. Took it like a striker. Good knockdown by Lewis Cass. But just so poor. You're 3 goals up. Half time's a couple of minutes away, and you let them win the first contact from the free kick, and you let the centre half touch it down and finish. I'd be frustrated if I was a Notts County supporter. But this game still hangs in the balance. It's still open for Grimsby. If they get the next goal, and the game's 3-2, and Notts County just start to get slightly nervous. But for Notts County, they have won 3 of the last 6 against Grimsby. 2 of them at home, back in April 2019, and of course last season back in August 2023. We haven't had a 0-0 in this fixture since December 2017, and I'm not surprised. There's plenty of goals usually in this fixture. And for Grimsby, they beat Notts County both times away from home in the last season. They were both in the National League. They won within the normal season at Meadow Lane, but then they also knocked Notts County out of the playoff quarter-finals as well. Grimsby Town, they went on to get promoted via the playoffs. I would definitely ruled them first 2. 100%, those first 2 are not goals. Like I say, it's almost like Dan Crowley could have just literally chested the ball, picked the ball up with his 2 hands, put it down and then finished, and the referee wouldn't have noticed. It's almost like he did that with it. And then, I didn't actually see that from the first replay for that first goal. I didn't think he was offside. I mean, I didn't even think about him being offside, but he did just go a bit early, Alassane Jatta, but he wasn't caught offside, even though he was. And the goal stood. So very frustrating for Grimsby Town, who of course haven't defended very well. But again, when goals like that go against you, which are a little bit out of your hands, it can be, hard to take. And they have looked a half threat on the attack, so it's not like the game's completely dead. And that goal before the break will give them confidence to kick on and almost, just try and say to the referee, look, we can beat Notts County even if you want to give them 2 goals that should have been disallowed. But this is a season where they really need to kick on, Grimsby. Of course, they brought in David Artell in the November of last year after letting go Paul Hurst, who got them promoted back after relegation from League 2 and got them promoted back out of the National League. And they brought in David Artell, and he took over when they were 21st in the table, and they finished last season 21st. So he didn't exactly push them on, but he did keep them safe. And I think when you come into a team mid-season, I think that's almost like, that's okay. But I think once you have a pre-season, you get your own players in, you have a summer transfer window, that is when you've got to really kick on. And Grimsby have got to do that. And I think they have got to be realistic. They haven't got the best squad in the division by a long way. But if they can, keep themselves well away from relegation, if they can maybe try and push for those mid-table spots, I think that'd be a success for Grimsby Town this season. Because when they got promoted from the National League, they finished 6th that season, and to be promoted via the playoffs when finishing 6th is very impressive. They beat Solihull Moors in the final at the London Stadium that season in extra time. So I definitely think it's just not exactly baby steps, because baby steps can be frustrating for football fans. You don't want your team going up slowly, but I definitely think a season away from the relegation zone will be just a nice, chilled out season for Grimsby, and then maybe next season they can really push for playoffs, try and really improve the quality of the squad they've got. But we'll just have to wait and see. Let's get this season out of the way first, maybe, because we're probably into the 3rd game of the league season in League 2. But the second half of this game will be getting underway in a couple of minutes' time. As like I say, for Notts County last season, it was so frustrating to lose Luke Williams when they did. Luke Williams went to Swansea, who are now in the Championship. Game we're covering at the weekend, the South Wales derby. Like I said, Luke Williams left with Notts County in 7th. And his final game was a 4-2 defeat away against Tranmere, and then that's when it all kind of fell apart. They, after a few games, brought in Stuart Maynard, and they just could not get back picking up positive results, and it kind of knocked them down right into the bottom half of the table. Do apologise for this noise. Do apologise if you can hear that barking in the background. They obviously must be excited for the second half. What a game Solihull Moors was. It was a great game to commentate on. It was dramatic, to say the least, because Solihull took the lead, didn't they, with Kyle Hudlin, the about 6'9" striker. Whatever. How tall is Kyle Hudlin? I forgot how tall he actually is. But I know Kyle Hudlin scored 2.06 metres. That is ridiculous. 6'9". Yeah, he scored a header in that playoff final, didn't he? But Grimsby turned it around and won it in extra time. Yeah. I mean, that 6'9" as a strap, that's almost cheating. It's almost like you've got to have a height restriction as a footballer, because 6'9", like, you're just crossing it for days, surely. But I would be if I was in charge. I'd be like, get those crosses in to the box, because that height is absolutely ridiculous. So second half getting underway shortly. Hopefully we get more goals. Fingers crossed we do. Notts County were 3-0 up. Let's make that clear. They were 3-0 up as we went into added on time in the first half. But Grimsby just nicked one back with a free kick put into the box, and they won the first knockdown. And then from the knockdown they finished it with their centre-back, Harvey Rogers. Jordan Maguire drew. What a winner. Yes, it was. Was it from a long throw? I can't remember if it was from a long throw. It might have been from a long throw-in. But yeah, it was a fantastic... My best live streams in terms of viewers is National League playoff finals, and I don't know why, but they get the highest views for sure. Like the Notts County Chesterfield one a couple of seasons ago. You know, I had over 1,000 people at one point in that stream, and it was absolutely ridiculous. Also, both sets of players here are back out for the second half. There is Ollie Yates, who's had a questionable refereeing performance. Like I say, I think Grimsby should have had a penalty possibly at 2-0. Notts County's first two goals should not have stood. Definitely the second for the handball. I mean, he should have been able to have seen that. You know, the offside for the first goal, probably point fingers at the linesman, but you've got to be pointing fingers at the referee for that second goal. Yeah, back underway. It's Grimsby to kick us off. Kicking left to right. Notts County right to left for the second half at Meadow Lane. Big header away for Notts County up towards the striker Jatta, who's coming back from an offside position. Free kick for Grimsby. And we're back underway here with the right centre half. And the goal scorer of Harvey Rogers. It's now down the line by Cass, looking for the striker of Wilson. Takes a touch out to the right wing. It's going to be dealt with here by Platt, who's shielding the ball next to the corner flag. Turns, tries to clear, shoved to the ground. And that'll be a free kick for Notts County in a left-back position. Just given away there by Donovan Wilson, pacey striker. Loves to get in behind. Won the National League with Sutton back in the 2020-2021 season. The 27-year-old. From a long throw, and I'm pretty sure, yeah, I think it was from the long throw. That goal that got Grimsby back up into the Football League. As that free kick for Notts County, taken by the goalkeeper. It's a long kick, big kick into the Grimsby half. Header won by Cass into a more central area here where Edwards heads it back out wide for Notts County. Kept in by Cerula. Can't find Jatta, the striker. It's now up towards Wilson, the Grimsby striker, who slides to try and keep it, and it deflects through here. Vernon's in for Grimsby Town. Big touch into the box. He shoots with his right foot, and it's just over the crossbar. Not far away there for Charles Vernon, who scored and assisted in their last game against Cheltenham in that 3-2 home win. Fell fortunately for him as Wilson kicked it off Platt. And as he entered the box, he was being forced away on a tighter angle. And Macari slid to try and block the shot, and he just went over there by Vernon. Not far away, but a positive start for Grimsby Town, who are looking to turn this game right on its head if possible. As it's Notts County to build out from the back with Hinchy. To the far side here to Macari. Ball forward to Edwards on halfway, being tracked down by McEachran, and he wins it off him. Grimsby get it forward with Wilson, who turns towards goal. He takes a touch away from Platt, who slides in well. gets the ball and kicks it away. Had to time that right, Platt. And Grimsby take the throw-in quickly in the final third. Edwards clearing it out again for another throw-in for Grimsby Town. It's now McEachran on the far side. His ball forward is short, picked up by Jody Jones, and he gets away from the challenger McEachran. He gets away from 2 challenges, but then eventually caught up there by Corey. Feeds it out wide to the left now. Vernon, one-on-one with Crowley, the captain. He crosses, it deflects, headed forward by Green. Can't be controlled though by Ainley, and it can be seen behind for a goal kick by Macari. And it's been a rapid start there for Grimsby Town. It needs to be, if they really want to put pressure on this Notts County team, who can be vulnerable at the back. Conceded 99 goals in all competitions last season. The Magpies. It's Notts County to build out from the back. It's their goalkeeper, Alex Bass, with the ball. 26 years of age. Just 2 appearances for Sunderland during his 2 years there at the club. Clips it to the halfway line to Jatta. He's allowed to bring it down all alone and gets it away from the challenger Green, but then pokes it back to the goalkeeper on the edge of the box. It's now back with Bass, forward to Hinchy, and then into the centre half of Matty Platt. It's now the goalkeeper Bass. Grimsby backing off with their press, allowing the goalkeeper to have the ball. And he'll go long. Big kick out to the left. It's in behind the Grimsby Town defence, and Jatta will get there in the final third. He'll play it backwards to Cerula. Cerula to the edge of the box to Edwards. First time pass, can't quite find Jatta. It deflects and clears away by Mick Janet. Intricate ball there by Edwards, and if it came off, Notts County would have had a chance to get a shot away at goal in the 18-yard box, but instead Grimsby can counter here. Corey down the left-hand side to Vernon. He's going to run here at Macari. Vernon into the box. On his right foot. His shot deflects to Green, who tries to bend it into the top left corner. Just high and wide, not far away from the Grimsby Town captain, Kieran Green, who only scored twice last season. In November against Morecambe and in December against Hartlepool, where he started his at Harrogate. Started his career at Hartlepool, Kieran Green. But 4.5 minutes in, and it's been all Grimsby so far in terms of the chances, but it still remains 3-1. Big kick forward again by Bass into the centre circle. Edwards can't win the header on Mick Janet. Controlled and played out to the right now to Barrington. Then Barrington goes back to the right back of Cass. Switches it across to the left back of Evan Corey. Heads it forward. Can't quite find Green. Picked up by Hinchy. It's now Jody Jones on the right wing, halfway line. Forced to go back here. Plenty of Grimsby bodies in front of him. And he can just clip it out to the left here to Cerula. Touches it down and plays it back here to Bedot. Now Crowley in the Notts County half, just dropping slightly deeper on the ball, which, you know, is good in a certain way because he links it up nicely, but he's definitely been more effective when he's been found in the more advanced positions. Free kick, just tripped there. Dan Crowley. It's now Platt playing it to the right centre half here of Lewis Macari. Furthest wide is Jones on the halfway line here. Been forced to go back from the press from Corey. It's now with the goalkeeper Bass. Just to let you know, the commentary's coming up. I know we've got 2 of them going across screen, but in between those 2, we've got Wolves Burnley as well in the League Cup next Wednesday. So we've got Swansea Cardiff on Sunday, and then Wolves Burnley on the Wednesday, and then next weekend we've got Celtic Rangers, and then we've got another League 2 game to bring to you on the 2nd of September. That is Salford MK Dons. And then we've got a 12-day break for the international break. And then we'll be returning with Bournemouth, Chelsea, Spurs, Arsenal and Birmingham Wrexham. So that's the commentaries coming up for the next 3 weeks. Is Notts County go long again with Bass. Can't find Jatta, the striker. Header won by Rogers, controlled on the halfway line by Edwards. In the central area. Goes back here to Macari, then out wide to Jones. He's going to run here at Corey. He's going to drive inside. He gets away from Corey. Jody Jones, options left and right. He goes to the right to Edwards. On the byline, he'll get there before it goes out, and he pulls it back, and there's a shot towards goal, and it deflects away. Should be a corner, and it will. Crowley the one. Think it was a shot. Not sure if it was a cross. Jody Jones has been a nightmare all night down that Notts County right-hand side. And Crowley has, I think, gone for a cross, and it's just come off the head of a Grimsby Town defender to take it away from Jatta. And it will be Crowley now to take the corner on the near side. It goes short to Hinchy, then to the edge of the area to Jones. On his left foot, plays it back out wide here to Crowley, just outside the 18-yard box. Hinchy's overlapping. Crowley goes to Jody Jones again. Creates a bit of space on his left foot, and he's tripped on the edge of the area, and that'll be a free kick. Given away there by George McEachran. Just dived in there, the 23-year-old. Taking down Jody Jones. We need to play two up top, I reckon. Wilson can't play up. Yeah, he's been a bit isolated up front, Donovan Wilson, that is for sure. But I think, again, it's then one of those things is, do you want to, lose a player in midfield? Because if you lose a player in midfield, like, Kieran Green, they'll outnumber you in that midfield. So I think it's a bit risky to go two up front at the moment. But I completely understand where you're coming from in terms of a goal-scoring chance. But you don't want to get overrun in that midfield. So, free kick for Notts County, left-hand side, two-man wall for Grimsby, about 22 yards away from goal. Definitely more of an angle for a cross, but we'll see what happens here with Crowley running over it and Jones putting a cross in. It's a beautiful cross, and it's off the woodwork by Bordeaux. Drops for Edwards, who shoots left-footed volley, and a good few yards wide in the end. But the creativity in this Notts County team is scary. When you've got deliveries like those of Crowley and Jones, there's no wonder they score so many goals a season, Notts County. That ball in from Jody Jones was unbelievable, right across the goal to the far post where Bordeaux got onto it and just hit the woodwork, unfortunately, looking for his first Notts County goal. Grimsby get away with a big scare there. Probably should have been punished because that was a beautiful ball from Jody Jones. Again, Grimsby give it away. It's now in the middle of the park with Jody Jones. Tackled though by Vernon, but the loose ball drops to Crowley, who turns away from Vernon and plays it forward here to Gree. It's now Jatta, tackled on the edge of the area. So that was Connor Grant there with the ball for Notts County. Cleared by Grimsby. All this was Macari on halfway. Far side, gets it forward to Jody Jones. He's going to run it Corey again here. Goes on the outside of him and beats him easily. Jody Jones crosses in, cleared by Rogers. Again, Corey at left back. He's having a nightmare against Jody Jones. And the throw-in goes Notts County's way. The tackle by Hinchy took a touch there off the Grimsby winger. And 10 minutes into the second half. It's now Notts County who are starting to dominate. Grimsby definitely with a better side for the opening 5 minutes. Came out of the blocks quickly, but Notts County have got their rhythm back and are attacking, and have already hit the woodwork with Jacob Bordeaux from the set piece. As Notts County still have it on the far side. It kicked out for another throw-in on the halfway line. Macari that time, kicking it off McEachran. And it's now with Macari returning, getting the ball returned to him from the throw-in. And it's now all the way to Bass, the goalkeeper for Notts County. Long clearance on the edge of the area by Bordeaux. Down the Notts County left, up towards Jatta, deep in the Grimsby half. Loses out the first time to McJanet, who's been forced to go to his goalkeeper of Jordan Wright, who left-footed will clear it. It's not much more of a pass than a clearance, and there's a mix-up in the midfield, and it's picked up there by Dan Crowley. Turns away from Evans. Loads of space on the right-hand side, and he'll feed it to Jody Jones. Onto his left foot. Plays it down the line here to Edwards. Squares it across the goal, and no one's there to tap it in. Honestly, it could be 4 or 5 here for Notts County. And they want to take a chance soon because they don't want to be kicking themselves at the end of this game if somehow Grimsby make the comeback. Again, Jody Jones finding the run out wide right from Edwards. And the ball across could not be diverted home. No one got on the end of it in the end. And it still remains 3-1 after 11 minutes in the second half. And we're going to get a Grimsby Town change here. Luca Barrington, the 19-year-old, will be replaced by number 11, Jason Dardy. Sivan Thorson, Icelandic winger brought in from the Icelandic First Division. And that is an absolute pain of a name to get right. But he comes on for Grimsby. Sivan Thorson. See if he can make the difference on the right wing for Grimsby. As he almost picks the ball up there in the Notts County half, but it's kept away from him by Hinchy. It's now Jody Jones on the right wing. Playing it inside to Crowley. Met by the tackle of McEachran, but gets beyond 2 challenges and then shoots, which deflects over the goalkeeper. And it's another fortuitous goal for Notts County, but they will take it. They're 4-1 up. Captain Crowley again strikes. the way he got beyond those two Grimsby players just shows his sheer determination. He just never gives up that ball. And as soon as Grimsby make a substitution, they concede a goal. And if the momentum hadn't already swung back to Notts County, it's certainly with them now. Winning the ball in the middle of the park, getting it forward to Edwards, played it to Jones, who went inside to Crowley, who got beyond McEachran and Green, the Grimsby captain. I don't know how he got beyond both of them, but he did. And he had a shot just inside the box, which took a deflection. Oh, it's a deflection off the left leg of McJanet, which looped it over the goalkeeper of Jordan Wright towards that left-hand side of the goal. Again, it's rather lucky, but Notts County have definitely switched on in the last 5 minutes and probably deserve another goal. As here at Meadow Lane, it's Notts County 4, Grimsby Town 1. It's raining goals here at Meadow Lane. Bit more of a comfortable game for Notts County this time around than at the weekend when they went 2-0 down to Fleetwood and got 2 goals in the second half to turn that one around and get the late equaliser. We need to switch up. We need to switch Wilson for Rose. Get a bit of pace at the top as Wilson rarely runs. Yeah, Danny Rose is an option on the bench for Grimsby, the 30-year-old striker. If he comes on, he'd be making his 300th League Two appearance, excluding the playoffs. As Bass for Notts County. Big switch out to the left. Header won by Cass. Headed back forward by Badoan halfway and right into the space for Cerula, who I think is onside as well. He is in the final third. Cerula finds the Notts County man. And now it's Crowley on the edge of the area who bend it towards the top right corner. Couldn't quite get it on target there. The captain looking for his hat-trick in this game. Cerula played it to the edge of the box to Connor Grant, who then played it on once more to his right to Crowley, who has been superb tonight. But that one's a little bit wild. But Notts County have won it back again in an advanced area. Edwards. Crowley. Midway inside the Grimsby half in a central area. Gets away from Green. It's great feet. Crowley wanting to shoot. In the box he goes. Forced away from goal. Needs to move it quickly. Finds Jody Jones. Macari is overlapping again from centre half. And again, won't use him. I don't think he's used one of his overlapping runs yet. Jody Jones. He's now in front of the centre circle with Badeau, who will charge forward with the ball, but dispossessed. But then won back, but then dispossessed again there. This time Connor Grant tried to win it, and then played forward for Grimsby. And the attack's on. Ainley gets out to the left here. Chance for the away side. The cross goes in. Deflects. Can they get a shot off at goal? Back out to the left to Vernon. Running at Jody Jones. Lifting it into the box. Can't quite reach the header of Donovan Wilson. And it curls behind for a goal kick for Notts County. Over an hour played here at Meadow Lane. Notts County 4, Grimsby 1. Unfortunate there for Savan Thorson, the Icelandic winger, who was in the box there waiting for the cross, but instead it went towards Donovan Wilson instead. As unfortunately here for Grimsby, Dan Crowley is down, their main man. And I mean, at this level, League 2, and I've watched a bit of League 2 because my team, Stockport County, were in League 2 for the last 2 campaigns. And this is one of the best individual performances I've seen at this level from Dan Crowley. Yes, the first goal he scored was a bit fortunate. There was a handball a handball was used in the build up to it, and his assist for the first goal, the Jatta was possibly offside, probably offside, but still just on the ball. Like, forget the goals and assists, just his way that he keeps it, the way he drops the shoulder, the way he uses his body to keep the ball away from defenders. It's just so seriously impressive. But he is down here at the moment. It doesn't look too serious, as he just slightly hobble off with one of the Notts County physios. Yeah, just it's not the most comfortable of walks off here for Dan Crowley. And this would be a big loss if he's to come off. I know they have a bit of a cushion here at 4-1, but I'm sure he'd want to stay on to try and score his hat-trick. But I think with 28 minutes to play, Is he going to be coming off? I'm not quite sure. He's getting a few words of encouragement from his manager, Stuart Maynard, who's just stood next to him as he comes off the pitch just for a moment. And we're going to get a Grimsby change. I think we're going to get two. One of them is going to be George McEachran in the centre of midfield. And I think he'll be replaced by number 22, Cameron Gardner, the 18-year-old for Grimsby, who signed a 3-year deal in September of last year. No, it won't be. Interesting. Denver Hume comes on, not Cameron Gardner. So McEachran comes off and so does Wilson. So the striker Wilson is replaced by Danny Rose. And then McEachran, midfielder, comes off here for Denver Hume, the left-back. So Denver Hume will go to left-back, obviously that's his position. And then Evan Corey will go into the centre of midfield because he is naturally a central midfielder tonight. The guy who's been playing left-back. Quite unfortunately playing left-back because he's had to come up against Jody Jones and he's had a little bit of a hard time here, as it does look like Dan Crowley will be coming back on for Notts County, as they've got a throw in here on the far side. Down the line it goes into the Grimsby half over the head of Jatta, cleared forward by McJanet. Off the head of Edwards, into the sky it goes. Drops here for Rose, heads it into Corey. And it's now Green. Brought down there by Hinchy. Free kick for Grimsby Town. There's Crowley, he's back on the pitch here for Notts County. And I think Grimsby are going to take this opportunity to get it in the box. Scored from a similar free kick angle in the first half. It'll be important for them to win the first knockdown, for sure. And it goes from the free kick, and it's just a header miss there by George Evans. Kieran Green. And then a foul there on the edge of the box. Yes, it is. Jatta. Strikers challenge that by Alassana Jatta. Bit of a late one there on Lewis, cast the right back. And on the right-hand side, he's booked for it as well. And on that right-hand side, just outside the 18-yard box, it will be a free kick. And the angle's a bit wide, so a bit awkward for a shot. But good angle, certainly, for a cross. So it's going to be two-man Notts County wall. And it's going to be taken by Charles Vernon for Grimsby Town. The delivery needs to be right if he goes for the cross. He does go for the cross. It looks slightly overhit, or is it overhit? Maybe not. Kept in, though, by Cass on this touchline. It's actually gone out for a corner. It was attacked by McJanet, and it must have took a deflection off, I think, Curtis Edwards. And it's gone out for a Grimsby corner on that far side. 25 to play. You know, if they'll get another goal here, you know, put the deficit again to 2 goals, then you just never know. Ball in swinger, flicked on, dropped in the box. Can the shot be taken? It is. That's a comfortable save for Bass. Harvey Rogers as a centre half looking for his second goal of the night, but that time it was very comfortable for the Notts County goalkeeper. As Bass goes to Crowley, just about keeps it away from the press of Corey. And then forward here to Grant. Brought down by Green. And that'll be a free kick for Notts County just inside their own half. Bit of a late one there on Connor Grant, and that'll be a free kick and a yellow card there given to Kieran Green, the Grimsby captain, 27 years of age. Did assist the only goal in Grimsby's 1-1 draw in the league to Bradford, which they went on to win on penalties. Chelsea 1-0 up in their Europa Conference League qualifier against Servette. And Kunku from the penalty spot as Notts County give it away. Poor ball forward there, really. And it's now Cass for Grimsby as they attack down the right-hand side. Green just about keeps it in, plays it down the line here. Can't complete the 1-2 there with Sivan Thorson. And it's now Notts County again with it. And then the Icelandic winger pulls back Grant. That'll be a free kick for Notts County with a quarter of the game to go. Looks like they're going to make a handful of changes here the home side. Thank you to everyone who has liked and subscribed. It is very much appreciated. So the first change, we'll see Notts County number 28, Lewis Macari, come off for number 17, and that's not, hold on, let's relax. Okay, because they're not showing me who's coming off and who's coming on for who. So Lewis Macari has come off. So has Nick Cerula. And so has Alassana Jatta. And the ones that have come on is number 8, Sam Austin. Number 18, Matt Palmer, who's taken the captain's armband off Dan Crowley. And number 17, McGoldrick, also comes on. So Macari, Cerula and Jatta off for Palmer, Austin and McGoldrick. So 3 changes for the Magpies here. As it's with their goalkeeper, Bass. 22 of the 90 to play. Bass sends it long up towards David McGoldrick, who can touch it down towards Edwards. Can't win the first ball there, and it's Grimsby now with it, with Cass sending it forward. It's a looper up to the halfway line where it's a header won by Hinchy. Second header won by Rogers. Third header won by Grimsby Town, again with Green, their captain, but can't quite find Savan Thorson. It's now Notts County with it on the near side, just beyond the halfway line with Bordeaux. McGoldrick goes back here into Crowley. Jody Jones with loads of space on the right-hand side, but goes forward to McGoldrick instead. It's now number 18, Matt Palmer. Got a contract until the end of this season. He is the new captain for Notts County for the upcoming season, with Dan Crowley as his vice-captain. There's Jody Jones. Switched it from the right wing, now the left wing, and he gets around Cass, and he crosses in, and it's just about held by Jordan Wright. Just such a threat from both sides. His normal side is the left wing, usually, Jody Jones, but at the moment he's having to just do a shift on the right-hand side. And he's still performing to the same level. As Grimsby attack down the left on the halfway line. Ainley goes back to keep the possession of the ball here with number 17, Mick Janet, who came through at Luton and Stoke before moving to Derry City. Made over 140 appearances for Derry. Mick Janet, who in a left-back position clears it down the line, deflects off Curtis Edwards. That'll be a throw-in for the away side with 20 minutes to play. And again, given away by Grimsby in the defensive third. Edwards on the right wing, playing it back to Austin. Cross delivered, can't quite find McGoldrick, caught by the goalkeeper of Wright. Try to see who's come off here. Oh, it's Grant, so Macari stayed on. Macari has not come off for Notts County. The right centre-back is still on. It was Conor Grant who's come off instead. So Conor Grant came off with Cerula and Jatta, the striker. McGoldrick picks the ball up, goes back here to Crowley, takes on Green, and bursts forward to the edge of the area where he'll let fly with the shot. Not far wide of that left-hand post. Crowley's gone down, feeling pain in his left foot, blocking for his hat-trick. Never scored a hat-trick for Notts County. But he has caused this Grimsby Town team problems all night, especially Kieran Green. He took him on plenty of times already. As Grimsby get it up towards Danny Rose, the striker, who's not really had a touch of the ball yet. Cleared away from him, but straight back to Grimsby here with their substitute of Denver Hume, the number 33, 26 years of age. Brought in from Portsmouth in January of last season. Long ball goes forward, headed 1.5 way by Platt. Headed back by, I think that was Austin, for Notts County. And it's back in possession of the home side. As Notts County have a free kick there. Edwards just caught as he was releasing the ball. The number 22 for Notts County, 30 years of age. Spent a lot of his career in Sweden. Curtis Edwards. He is English, but yeah, spent up to 7 years of his career in Sweden, mainly playing his appearances for Östersunds, who you might remember Graham Potter being in charge of. Then he moved to Norway for 2 years before returning to England with Woking, and then's moved on now to Notts County. So, he's definitely took the unconventional route in his footballing career. Curtis Edwards is back to his feet and we're back underway. McGoldrick's chested touch can't quite find Edwards. It's now with Grimsby in their own half. With Mick Janet, the pass is just away from him, but he can keep it away himself from McGoldrick. It's now Grimsby with Rogers, the centre half, playing it into the midfield. Can't quite find Savan Thorson. And it's one back for Notts County. Played through by Palmer to Curtis Edwards. And out to the left now to Jody Jones, who will burst towards goal here in the final third. 1-on-1 with Cass. Goes on the outside of him. His cross deflects off the number 2. And the corner cannot be avoided. And it is a corner kick for Notts County on this near side. Well, won by their number 10, Jody Jones. That's the record amount of assists last season with 24. Got a goal tonight. The corner's been taken and Jody Jones has it back. Goes around one player and then the cross can't quite be connected properly as he's been knocked to the ground. Jody Jones wanted the penalty. Referee says no. They're slightly knocked off balance as he went to deliver it, so couldn't quite get his foot around the ball. Referee not interested. Still 4-1 here at Meadow Lane. Thanks to everyone who's still here. If you have enjoyed, make sure you like and subscribe. It is very much appreciated that you've come here to listen to the live commentary of Notts County against Grimsby in League 2, as the new footballing season now is well underway. As Grimsby have it halfway line. Right back Cass. Into the midfield to Corey. Back into Cass. Edwards pressing well. Cass goes out wide here to Savan Thorson, the Icelandic substitute winger for Grimsby. Corey in the centre circle, playing it out to the left here to Hume. Wants to go down the line. Can't find the right pass though there to their number 10 of Vernon. And it's picked up by Macari into the middle of the park to Crowley. Jody Jones just in front of the halfway line, goes back into his own half to Crowley. Keeps it moving to Jacob Badeau, who hit the post at the start of this half when the game was at 3-1. Crowley on the left wing. McGoldrick dropping in from the striker position to link up the play. Going to Badeau. Shielding the ball away from 2 Grimsby players, then overrunning it out of play. Grimsby throwing on the halfway line. Good pressing there by Savan Thorson and Danny Rose. And we're going to get another substitution here. It's going to be for Notts County again. And number 22 will be brought off this time. That is Curtis Edwards. Brilliant performance from the 30-year-old. It's his first league start of the campaign. And he will come off and be replaced by number 9, Kedwin Scott, who in that season they were promoted from the National League. He missed that all-important penalty against Wrexham, which would have made the game 3-3, but then he scored the winning penalty in the playoff final against Chesterfield a month or so later. He's just 25 years of age, missed nearly all of last season with a knee injury, was out from September to March, only played 10 times in all competitions, didn't score any goals, so hopefully it's going to be a new campaign for Kedwin Scott where he can stay injury-free as Grimsby attacked on the left-hand side. He can be kept in towards the corner flag and then played backwards here. Can they get it in the box here, Grimsby, as it drops to the edge of the area? No one's taking control of it, and McGoldrick's the one to drop back to clear it for Notts County. Up it goes. It'll be given chase to here by Austin, but it'll run through to the number 5 of Harvey Rogers, who's making the ground up there for Grimsby at the back to make sure the 5th goal isn't conceded here tonight. Still got it in their own half here on the far side with number 33, Denver Hume. Signed a 1-year extension on his contract at the end of last season to stay here at Grimsby. Came through at the Sunderland Academy and played 84 times for Sunderland whilst they were in League 1. Big switch for Grimsby to this near side. Header won by Rose, but cleared by Badeau for Notts County up towards McGoldrick. Gets the first touch, but can't find a Notts County man. It's now with Hume, the left back for Grimsby. Onto the halfway line to Corey. Gets the return here from the captain Green. Back through for Green, who takes a touch. It's just away from him. Played forward by Platt. Notts County have it back midway side their own half. On that far side here with the number 8 of Sam Austin, who came through the Burton Academy, making his 99th appearance for Notts County. He's on the edge of the area. It's Jack Hinchy with it. Swindon born. Left Stockport County whilst they were in the National League to join Brighton, where he spent the last few years of his career but never broke into the first team. And now he's got a permanent move here to Notts County. Just over 12 minutes of the 90 to play here. It's still 4-1. To Notts County as Crowley plays it in the box to Platt. Just gets rid. Taking no risk. It's a high ball out to the right wing towards Austin. He misses it. And so does Hume. They both chase after it. Hume beats him to it and plays it down the left-hand side. Great bit of skill there by the number 10 Vernon, who's running away from Macari. It's a great run. Vernon still has it towards the edge of the area. Tries to get into the box, but he's stopped in his tracks by Platt. Ball drops on the edge of the area. Still with Grimsby. Corey towards the right now to Cass. To the edge of the area to Savan Thorson. Cass has made the run ahead of him, but instead he goes inside to Corey. Back again here with Savan Thorson. Cass on the right wing in the final third. Plenty of Notts County bodies back. Savan Thorson plays the ball. The shot comes in from Ainley. It deflects towards Green. First swing at it is blocked, but then the flag goes up for offside. Free kick for Notts County. Just not quite been as much of a threat in the second half. Grimsby going forward as much as they were in the first. And it's just been domination from Notts County, that is for sure. It's going to be a long ball, I think, forward here by the goalkeeper, Alex Bass, who played at Wimbledon last season on loan in this division and drew twice 0-0 with Grimsby whilst he was at Wimbledon. As it's on the far right-hand side here for Notts County, final third. Austin, one-on-one with Hume. Plays it into McGoldrick. Tries to get the return back towards Austin. Cleared by Hume. Throwing right next to the corner flag on that far side for Notts County with just over 10 minutes to play here. Notts County have it in a central area with Crowley. Now out to the, well, it was attempted ball out to the left there, I think by Matt Palmer. But it was just a bit too far behind Jody Jones there. Couldn't be kept in, and Grimsby have it on the edge of the 18-yard box with Cameron McJanet. And the only other full league campaign he's had in English professional football, McJanet, was in the National League North with Curzon Ashton back in the 2018-19 season on loan whilst he was at Stoke. So doesn't have vast experience playing in the English senior divisions. As Grimsby win a free kick, McGoldrick the one with a foul. And it's going to give another chance for Grimsby to launch this ball into the box. As for Stuart Maynard in charge of Notts County, this will just be his third home win. His two other wins both came in April against Harrogate and Colchester, so much needed for the 43-year-old. As the ball's in for Grimsby. It's a deep one in. It's had to just be volleyed behind by Platt, taking no risks. And it's going to be a corner on this near side for Grimsby, who will look to try and secure another consolation if possible. I think it's a little bit too much to ask for them to try and complete some kind of comeback. Vernon puts the ball into the near post. It glanced to the far post, can't quite land it to Cass. Cleared away by Hinchy for Notts County. It's now with Hume on the halfway line for Grimsby. Goes to the right to Corey. Needs to try and get it into the box if he can. He lifts it in. It's a good ball as well. Headed towards goal, and it's almost crept in at that near post. He tried it. The man with the captain's armband on, and that's Danny Rose. Puts his arm up as a indication of how good that ball was towards him on his 300th League Two appearance. His best ever campaign, Danny Rose, was 14 in 39 in League Two with Mansfield in the 2017-18 season. He has lost twice in the League Two semi-final playoffs with Mansfield and Northampton. And it's now back with Grimsby as some of their supporters start making their ways toward the exit with 8 minutes of the 90 to play, and they're still 4-1 down here. It's on the near side, Van Thorsen with it. Their new number 11 from the Icelandic First Division. Now on the left, Hume, the left back, driving forward, away from Hinchy, to the edge of the box, and into the box he goes, still with Hume, to the byline, crosses back, and it's come off a Notts County man, and that'll be a corner. It's a brilliant run there by Denver Hume, and it was almost a fantastic assist, but it was well blocked. It does look like it's going to be a Grimsby corner. That's going to be put right into the area here by Charles Vernon. They've sent the defenders up there with the height. And the cross goes into the 6-yard box, and it's an easy catch for Bass. So frustrating for Grimsby as Bass throws it out to Scott, who will drive forward with the pink boots on beyond the halfway line, out to the left to Jody Jones. Midway side of the Grimsby half, waiting for a little bit more support as he takes on Corey. Again, he's haunting this number 30 for Grimsby Town. And it's now into the middle of the park here to the number 18 of Matt Palmer. Hinchy. Everyone behind the ball for Grimsby. Their striker, Danny Rose. It's now on the near side to Jody Jones. They just kill the momentum of the game. You know, they don't need it to be at full pelt so late on now. You know, Notts County only played on Sunday, so had 3 full days to prepare for this game as Jody Jones spins around one Grimsby player and then sprays it into the box looking for McGoldrick. It's a header away though by Rogers, and in the right back position it's dropped here to Mick Janet, who clears it high for Grimsby beyond the halfway line. Can't reach Danny Rose, and it's played to Bordeaux, who gets it into Macari, and it's very well dealt with there by Notts County. Both of these teams ended last season with defeat. Notts County losing to already relegated Forest Green, and then Grimsby losing away to eventually promoted Crawley Town, who went up via the playoffs very impressively under Scott Lindsay. 5.5 to play, if I can do maths. 5.5 to play. Notts County just got the ball in their outside of their own half. Like I say, they're not really trying to score. They're just keeping it moving. Of course, if a gap appears, I'm sure they'll try and penetrate it if possible, but they're not rushing anything, not forcing any passes through. They don't want to give away the ball so late on in the game. You know, they are definitely ones for conceding goals, Notts County, so better off if they can try and keep the ball. They are the team who keep the ball most in this division as they've worked it out to the left here to Jody Jones, the number 10, who's running at Cass on the outside, puts the ball in towards Scott, who gets the shot away, but he was always off balance and he fires it over the crossbar. Would have been a good moment there for the substitute, Kedwin Scott, who has not scored for so long due to that knee injury he picked up last season. This is his 50th league appearance for Notts County. Kedwin Scott, another brilliant ball by Jody Jones. You can see exactly why Jody Jones picked up 24 assists last season. You know, not just the spaces he gets himself in, it's the delivery every time. It's so good, and it's so difficult for defenders to deal with him. I'm a Notts County fan. I'm buzzing. I'm sure you are buzzing. It's a brilliant win. It'll be your first win of the season as well. You know, drawing the first 2 league games and then losing the League Cup first round on penalties away to Shrewsbury. As again, they come away with the ball. And it's number 8, Sam Austin with it, who did start the last game. The first game of the season against Tranmere. And he did score in that draw in the League Cup against Shrewsbury, Sam Austin. Jody Jones gets booked to complete my 16-to-1 bet builder. I have a tenner on it. You don't take the legs off. I mean, I don't want to kill your hope, but he's not really been doing many challenges, Jody Jones. It's mainly been the people challenging him. So I do hope that comes through for you. I really do. We should have beat Fleetwood. Yeah, probably should have beaten Fleetwood in the end. But it wasn't a defeat. If that's a positive, you know, you were 2-0 down and you were able to at least get the draw, but it's always frustrating when, you know, you go behind in a game by a couple of goals and you feel like you've been the better side. But I think another thing for Grimsby will be the injury picked up in the first half by Jordan Davis, who they've got on loan from Wrexham. He scored twice in their win at the weekend against Cheltenham. He came off early with, it looks like, a possible hamstring injury. As Notts County have it, McGoldrick takes the touch away from McJanet but can't quite get around him, and McJanet is then fouled by McGoldrick. The two number 17s coming together from either side, and it's Grimsby with a free kick. 2.5 minutes to play here of the 90. There's another 5 goals in this fixture scored. Like I say, he had 10 in the last one in the 5-5 draw, then 5 goals again. Last time these two sides met here at Meadow Lane, 3-2 that was in the end, on the 12th of August back in 2023. Big kick forward by the goalkeeper, Jordan Wright. Bounces through here and it's headed on towards, looks like Ainley for Grimsby. Loses out and the referee again misses a handball according to the Grimsby players, but Notts County will continue to attack. On the left wing it's McGoldrick, again slowing the play down. McGoldrick playing it into the middle to Crowley, then into Scott on the edge of the area, then out wide right now to Austin, back into Crowley. Again, not forcing anything here. Notts County. Crowley puts the cross in on the angle towards the penalty spot. Header away there by Rogers. It was aimed for McGoldrick. Kept alive for Notts County though on the halfway line now with Matty Platt. Out wide right it goes here. Then down the line as they try and get it towards the final third. It's Scott laying it off for Austin. Then to the left, just in front of the halfway line, it's Bordeaux. Racing around Jody Jones on the overlap. Jody Jones still has it, plays it inside to McGoldrick, about 22 yards away from goal on the left-hand side. Onto his left foot, he clips a ball towards the far post where it can't quite be met by Scott. Caught quickly by Jordan Wright. Not a bad idea there by the number 17, now 36 years of age now. David McGoldrick, born in Nottingham. Started at Notts County, left in 2005. Then had a 4-year stint at Nottingham Forest from 2009 to 2013. But returned last season on a free from Derby. As Grimsby attack and McGoldrick puts a sliding challenge in, which is mistimed. And that should be a free kick for Grimsby. Might not get away with a booking there, David McGoldrick. Just a bit late there on Kieran Green. My mate who's a Cods fan, I beat up. Okay. It's usually what I don't know what to think of that. 4 minutes added on. It's to the right side of the box, so again, tight angle for a shot, so it will be delivered in by Vernon. Cross goes to the far post, straight into the gloves of Bass. Easiest catch that the Notts County goalkeeper will make all night. So poor that from Charles Vernon, whose deliveries just haven't quite been at it tonight on the whole so far. As Bass, big kick up to the halfway line, looking for Scott, loses the header to Cass, but falls straight to a Notts County man, and they look to try and go forward again on this left flank with Jody Jones. Tries to take on Savan Thorson. Being made to go backwards though as he plays it. It's kept in there by Palmer. It's now with Jacob Bordeaux in the Notts County half towards the edge of the box with the pass to Platt. It's now the goalkeeper Bass into Hinchy. Doesn't quite reach him, and it's now Grimsby's time to try and nick a late goal if possible. Savan Thorson on the edge of the area in the box. He lays it off, and the shot absolutely blazed over the crossbar by Charles Vernon. Not quite been his night for Grimsby's number 10. They started every game so far this season for the Mariners. But with 4 added on, we've played 90 seconds of it. And it is Notts County who will be getting their first win of the season. And their first win at home since April. I know we've had the off-season, but still a long time to wait for a home victory. And it's Dan Crowley, the man of the match, and rightly so. He has been superb tonight with 2 goals and an assist. As the goal kick for Notts County goes long. Header away by Rogers, controlled by Rose, as he will dart forward for Grimsby. He's got an option to his left of Vernon. Rose will go on his own in the area, tries to find space for a shot, but he's been tackled there by Macari. And it's now back with Notts County with 2 minutes of the 4 left to play on added on time. Now with Jones on halfway, lifting it through for McGoldrick, who will give chase to the ball. Rogers gets there first and goes back to his goalkeeper. Well defended there by Harvey Rogers, who did get the goal for Grimsby right before half-time to make it 3-1. Hume, the left-back, adventuring into the Notts County half and putting a cross in. It's not a bad ball as well, you know. And it's applauded by Danny Rose, who likes the idea, just couldn't quite reach it. And it does eventually roll out for a goal kick for Notts County. My favourite player is Jones, and I understand why. He's been a privilege to watch tonight, both Jody Jones and Dan Crowley. You know, I don't think a lot of teams in this division tonight would have been able to have dealt with them two in the form they were in tonight. So, no, I think this is a game for Grimsby where they just need to try and move on, forget. You know, they've got Sheffield Wednesday coming up in the League Cup at home in next midweek. Then they've got Bradford at home and then Chesterfield away. So it's not getting any easier for Grimsby. They're difficult fixtures that they've got to take on in the upcoming weeks. For Notts County, they welcome Swindon next weekend, and then they've got an EFL Trophy game before returning home here to Accrington Stanley on the 7th of September. 40 seconds left of this game, and Notts County have won the ball back on the near side, halfway line. Kedwin Scott nicking it off Cass and turning away from Grimsby's number 2. Still with the number 9 for Notts County. Gives it to Palmer. And then into the back line now with the right centre half of Macari. Yeah, I don't think he's going to be winning that bet builder. I do apologise. I don't think he's going to be getting booked here as it's Notts County on the ball. Here is Jody Jones on the halfway line, playing it inside to McGoldrick and then returning it to Jody Jones. This will probably be the last action of the game. Jody Jones crosses it in towards the far post. It's just gone behind Scott via a slight little deflection. And Grimsby avoid conceding a 5th as the referee, Ollie Yates, blows for full time here at Meadow Lane. And it's a first win of the season for Notts County and Stuart Maynard. It's only his 6th win in charge of the club since he took over at the start of 2024. But that was convincing. Very impressive. 2 individual standout performers of Jody Jones and Dan Crowley have got Notts County over the line here, scoring the 4 goals. 3 of them rather fortunate to have stood. The first goal, it looked like Jatta was offside. The second goal, it looked like Crowley brought the ball down using his hands. The third goal was a cross from Jody Jones, which ended up being a shot into the back of the net. And then the 4th goal for Notts County went in via a massive deflection. So it's 4 goals that are rather fortunate, but the performance deserved the 4 goals because they completely outplayed Grimsby. You can see exactly how Notts County like to play, and when they get it working, and then when they're in free-flowing ways, you know, you can see why they have trusted in Stuart Maynard and why they haven't, you know, got rid of him after a bit of a poor start to his career at Notts County. They've stuck with him, they've backed him in the market, and it looks like if Notts County can play like that in the majority of their games, concede 1 goal, and keep clean sheets, they've got a real chance, because that was a problem with Notts County. They were scoring loads of goals. Notts County scored 96 last season in all competitions, but conceded 99. So you've just got to feel, if they can shore up at the back, concede less goals, but carry on their attacking threats, then, there's no reason why Notts County can't be up there at the end of the season looking for those playoff spots. That's exactly where they were when Luke Williams was in charge before he moved to Swansea in the January, and they'll be looking to try and reach those playoff spots once again. But for Grimsby, they came into this game off the back of 2 wins in a row, but unfortunately they're going to have to try and go back to the drawing board and, just try and go again next time when they've got their next game, which is coming up in the League Cup against Sheffield Wednesday. And then 2 difficult games, as we mentioned, against Bradford and Chesterfield coming up in the league. But for Grimsby, they've definitely got signs of how they are able to attack and how dangerous they can be. I think they'll be okay for relegation. I think they'll survive again. They just survived last season by 7 points. They'll want an improvement on that. They'll want to be further away from the relegation zone. I don't know how much further away they'll be, in all honesty. It'll probably be another similar finish for Grimsby. I think they'll finish, just in and around, those outside those relegation spots. But I think for Grimsby, as long as they can stay in this division for now, that is what they'll aim for. I think Grimsby just need a bit of stability at the moment. Don't want to be, they don't want to become one of those clubs who bounce up and down the leagues. Go into the National League, then back up to League Two and then relegated again. So definitely signs for Grimsby that they can play and that they can cause teams problems. But for tonight, Notts County were just a little bit too good for them. So thank you to everyone who joined in tonight. That was a very enjoyable game to watch. I mean, just to watch the likes of Dan Crowley and Jody Jones was an absolute pleasure. But thank you to everyone who did join in, who tuned in, who liked, subscribed and got involved in the chat as well. It is very much appreciated. As you can see, next commentary coming up is on Sunday. It is a 3 o'clock kickoff and it is Swansea taking on Cardiff in the Championship. And then in between that, we've got Wolves and Burnley in the League Cup on the 28th, which is next Wednesday. And then after that, next weekend, we have the first Old Firm derby of the season as Celtic welcome Rangers. So plenty of commentaries coming up on the channel. So make sure you subscribe with notifications on so you know exactly when I commentate on those games. So thank you for joining. Like and subscribe if you haven't already. As here at Meadow Lane, Notts County have got their season underway now with a victory. They were winless in the first 3, but that changes tonight. It's been goals galore again in this fixture, as it's Notts County this time to take 3 points. They have battered Grimsby Town in the end. They've got their first win. And at the end here on this Thursday night, it finishes at Meadow Lane. Notts County 4, Grimsby Town 1.